The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
All right, we're back after a brief hiatus. We had a little fuck up here, but we're back. Cheers again.
Yeah, cheers.
So we were saying that, I was saying that this is Stanhope's move, drinking Bud Light, and you were saying that you like drinking Bud Light because you could drink more, and then I said Stanhope switched to cocktails. All this happened. We had a fuck up with the recording. But you said you lived with Stanhope.
I did.
At the fucking Neverland Ranch?
Yes. It was crazy.
Yeah, what's he doing out there?
What do you think?
Yeah,
Guess.
just being bombed and having
nuts.
Random strangers show up at his house.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, he's so funny, but yeah, every once in a while he'd get a little nasty.
Yeah,
He'd turn on me.
He turned on you?
Yeah, I'd say because it was like a month, and I can drink, but I can't.
So you lived with him for a whole month?
Yeah, I stayed in the guest house.
What is that place like, that Bisbee, Arizona?
It's a cool town.
Yeah?
It's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's like an old mining town. So every house is like an old mine shack. It's crazy.
And most of the people there, what do?
I think when the mines closed, because it was an old copper mine, they all, like, hippies from California moved in there. So it's like a real artsy.
Is he like the mayor of the town?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Although I think all he does, I could be wrong. Maybe his routine changed during COVID. In fact, I know it did. But they... yeah, that was it. He would just go to the grocery store and come back. That was his...
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Just make sure he's got enough money in the bank?
Talk shit, do podcasts. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. But yeah, like I said, every once in a while he'd get a couple drinks and be like, look at you. Like, we'd be hanging out of nowhere. He'd be like, you're fat. I'd be like, all right, man, what the fuck, dude?
That's the hard booze.
Yeah.
That's hard booze thinking. People that just drink, like, Bud Lights, they probably don't get that nasty. It's a slow trickle.
No. Yeah, I got this. This is my dad. Dad just drinks these all night.
It's not the best flavor.
You're crazy. A couple BLs, dude.
It's okay. It'd probably be real good with, like, crabs. You know, like some seafood and, like, a nice light beer.
Drinking outside, it's perfect.
Yeah, real cold.
Yeah, you can't drink, like, craft or, like, IPAs outside.
Yeah, you can.
I don't like it.
I do.
What the fuck's your problem?
I like dark beer. I do. Yeah, I like
well, you
stouts.
work out. You're in shape and shit.
Yeah, but that's not why I like it.
If I start... Yeah, I know, but if I start crushing IPAs, I'll
get hammered.
Balloon.
Dude. Yeah, it's
I'll
good
be
times.
Huge.
Yeah, there you go.
If I drink 12 IPAs a night instead of Bud Lights, it'd be a disaster.
That's true. But you wouldn't need 12. You'd need 5, and you'd have the same effect.
Yeah, but that's why I don't drink... I try not to drink liquor ever. Like, I'm trying not to get fucking hammered at these places.
You're just trying to, like, keep a steady buzz.
Yeah, because I'll get drunk. I had a bad habit of getting hammered at clubs and talking shit.
That sounds like a normal comedian.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone. Yeah, but then the anxiety the next day, all that. What did I say to this person?
That is the worst.
Oh.
That's the worst feeling when you're all drunk together and you're like, did I say something stupid?
He said, I say wild shit.
And you know people said stupid shit to you.
Yeah.
So you're like, man, was I that guy too? Yeah. Yeah, you were.
Definitely. At the cellar now, it's like we're all having like conversations about like race and shit like that. And, it's
and
like,
you might get hammered.
I might get hammered and be like, would you guys shut up? Just wake up the next day like, oh, fuck.
There is nothing worse than comedians that are virtue signaling. Like around other comedians and trying to establish like a way that we should all communicate. And you're like,
yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?
Yeah,
like you pretending this is real?
Here? Yeah.
Are you pretending this is real?
We're all in on this.
We're all in on this. We're all good people talking mad shit. There's no bad people here. Just because someone says something ridiculous to make other people laugh, like, yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
We know the game.
Yeah.
It's like it's their opportunists. They're opportunists. They find a way to claim the moral high ground, to be upset at everybody else, but if you're a comedian and you do that, you're a traitor. You know what's going on. You know that these guys are just talking shit. And talking shit is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's like, here's my real statement. Here's how I really feel about things. Here's honesty. Here's me, just being vulnerable and truthful. And then here's me talking shit.
Yeah.
And
it's shit. It is literally
it's literally shit.
It is shit. It's not real.
No, we're saying ridiculous things to make each other laugh.
I'm gonna get fucked up on this.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
We'll start talking shit by the end of this.
6 or 7 of these, and we'll have a good buzz going.
Yeah, man.
It might grow on me. It's not bad. I get the idea, though. You know, that's one of the things that I've been reading about lately. I'm actually rereading this book by Brian Murarescu on, it's called The Immortality Key. It's all about ancient Greece and how they used to take wine, and they had wine laced with all these psychedelic chemicals, and that's, you know, the whole Eleusinian mysteries. But back then, everybody used to drink all day. They all had like the alcohol was terrible. Like the wine had like 3% alcohol, the booze had like 3%, like beer was 3%. They didn't know how to make like strong shit like they know how to make today, and everybody was drunk all the time.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Sitting around, waiting to get fucking killed by barbarians? You better get hammered.
The barbarians are on mushrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were. That was the thing. Like the Vikings, they were all on mushrooms.
Were they?
Yeah, they would do mushrooms and go berserking.
Yeah, they would do some bad things. I can't imagine doing those things on mushrooms.
Yeah, but if you lived back then, you could.
True.
If like that was a normal part of everyday life, was cutting people apart, you'd probably want to be on mushrooms.
I'd take mushrooms and giggle.
Yeah, probably.
These guys would take it and...
But they might have giggled too.
I bet they were giggling.
Yeah, I would imagine. We're lucky. But that's why people complain today. You know, it's like, because it's pretty easy. So the things that people complain about, they're relatively mild in comparison to the historical record of how fucked up life was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible.
Did you buy that shirt on purpose? Really?
Yes.
So you saw that in the store, and you're like, this is the one.
I saw this shirt, I was like, that's the drip.
That's it.
This is the drip. Gym shorts and a Walmart polo.
Do you play golf?
No.
Good for you.
I go drink. I watch my friends play golf. I'll go on the cart. It's fun.
Do you have a shirt like that? Do you have golf shirts that you wear?
I do, but not like that.
They're not as fly as this. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Dude, it's so funny.
Tiger Woods collection.
I was with Ari at the house, and I was like, I look like a dickhead, right? He was like, no, you look fine. I knew that he was lying.
Is
to me,
Ari
dude.
staying at Tim's too?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's just me and Ari. It's just me and
God.
that fucking guy. Took his dick out already?
Of course he did.
Dude, which is fine. Taking your dick out with other people around is funny.
But just with
but
one
it's
dude.
just me and him. And I was like, dude, who's this joke for, bro? It's just you and me. It was
Plus,
great.
I guarantee you, Tim's got cameras everywhere.
Oh, definitely.
Recording everything.
He's probably watching like, yes.
Take it out.
Oh, it's
Let's
great.
go. Let's go.
So we were out, me and Ari were swimming. And I was like, I bet you I can swim underwater the length of the pool. And he was like, I bet you can. So I did it. And then when I was like out of breath, got to the other side, I was like, Puh. It came out and his dick was out. He was standing outside of the pool. I was like, God damn it. I was like tired.
He's a wild motherfucker. I mean, that dude lived most of the pandemic in South America.
Yeah.
Just moved to South America for a while. Didn't know anybody down there. Got an Airbnb.
Started doing yoga up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Well, he's all about that. Like, me and him we don't share a lot in common. Like, he was walking around, he's like, we should go hiking, we should do this. I was like, dude, shut up. Let's watch Sports Center and drink. He was trying to get me to go down there with him.
He's big on new experiences, like hiking type things,
Yeah.
going places and traveling.
I don't like it.
Well, he got real big on travel a few years back where he took like 3 solid months off where he didn't do any comedy. He left his laptop at home. I think he brought a flip phone, and he just traveled. And no one could get in touch with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, didn't he go to, like, China?
Yeah, he went all over the place. He went all through Asia. He stayed in hostels. Like, okay.
Yeah, he likes that. He asked me to go to Bonnaroo with him this year. I was like, dude, I'm not going to it's going to be 95 degrees with just hippies and tents.
Where's Bonnaroo?
I think Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
That's his vibe. I don't like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to a fucking tent.
Yeah, he likes taking Molly and hanging out with weirdos.
I like taking Molly.
And hanging
It's
out with
great.
weirdos?
Yeah, I don't like the weirdos. In fact, I take Molly, I want to be alone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's, he's living the life of a free man, you know? I mean, I don't think I know anybody that values freedom like Ari does. Because he values freedom above, like, freedom from everything. Freedom from the best job in the world. Like, even though stand-up's the best job in the world, he'll take months off of his schedule. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any podcasts. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to wander around with nobody, by himself.
Yeah. It's impressive. I don't have that.
It's a weird instinct.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think because it's from when he was a kid, leaving the whole Jewish thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's probably, he's probably accustomed to losing his entire community.
For people who don't know, he lived, what is it? It's not a kibbutz, right? Is that what it was? He lived somewhere in Israel where they read the Talmud like 12 hours a day. And they did chores, and he was in like a religious retreat.
They're Amish.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Jewish Amish. And then he realized, like, fuck this. Like, what am I doing? This is
the
bullshit.
strength that takes to be like,
Oh, my God.
what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. He just takes massive balls.
Yeah. He has those, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just saw them.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
They're like shockingly
good.
low hanging. What's going on there?
Yeah. The shirt's good, though.
Yours?
Yeah, this is
okay,
good.
I'm fine
This
with
is
it.
good stuff.
I'd wear it for a goof.
Yeah.
I could wear that shirt.
You should.
Yeah.
Start wearing golf stuff.
Yeah, why not? People would think, I told you he was Republican.
Oh, yeah,
Look
true,
at him.
Match
true.
that hat you like.
Which hat?
The golf hat.
Which one?
The one that Bill Burr made fun of you for.
Oh, my
Little
Little
Rascals
Rascals
hat.
hat.
Yeah, it's a golf hat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a paperboy hat.
Yeah. It's a golfer. Payne Stewart used to wear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a Jeff cap, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. My dad wears those.
I
It's
like
pretty
those.
funny. Yeah.
Those are my favorite hats. So we all
Why?
have weird tastes. I don't know. I like them. They look good on my fat, round head.
Do they?
Yeah, if I had one here, I'd put it on so you could see. He'd be like, nice.
Yeah, I'd have to be like, well, of course I would. I'm not going to be like, you look like a fucking idiot. I'm nervous, dude. Of course I'm going to be like, yeah, everything you do is great.
Well, we need more of these. Cheers.
Yeah, true. Cheers,
A couple
man.
more of these. So, are you still living in New York?
I am.
You liking it out there?
I mean, the only thing I like is doing stand-up, so.
Yes.
That's the only thing I do.
Yeah.
I just hang out, Uber to the club.
You had some
Good
funny
night,
shit
man.
last night, man.
Oh, thank you
That
very
was a
much.
lot of fun.
Thank you.
These 2 nights have been really fun.
Yeah, they've been awesome, man. You too. It's good. You're still out there swinging like that?
Yeah, we got to swing.
Bro, I was standing in the back with Ari, and you started going, and I was looking at him like, ooh, Joe's going to get in trouble.
Yeah, you get in trouble.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to get mad, but it's comedy. You
Yeah.
know, the people that aren't mad are having a great time. I mean, we just did 2 nights in a row. Everybody's having a great time. And these shows at Vulcan that we've been doing on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, they sell out like instantly.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It's
Everybody's
awesome in there.
enthusiastic. Great crowds. Austin's amazing. I fucking
Austin
love
is.
it here.
Austin's cool. The area around there, I don't like it.
It's a little sketchy.
A lot of homeless.
Yeah. Well, it's not well regulated.
No.
And these knuckleheads decided to defund the police, which is a super unwise move. And it gets weird down
Yeah,
there.
it's like Bonnaroo out there, dude. It was just intense and on drugs.
Yeah, it's but you know what? Relatively speaking, it's exciting.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, you got a
Yeah.
fucking driver and a bodyguard, dude. And you do karate. Yeah, it's fun. I'm walking around just like, dude, I'm gonna get fucked
Don't
up
walk
here.
around. You're supposed to
You gotta walk around.
get from the parking lot into the structure, and then
Yeah.
from the structure to the parking lot, and then we vacate the area. That's what
That's what it-
Yeah, you secure the perimeter
Yeah.
of the area with security.
Yeah, I like
You have
doing
a lot of
comedy
shows.
in fucking Fallujah. What the fuck, dude?
It's part of the fun.
It is fun. It is fun, but
It is.
till it's not.
Until it's not. Yes.
One
But
day,
that's-
somebody's not gonna have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. But that's like part of what the fun is. Like,
True.
you cannot have light without dark. You cannot have sunshine without rain. If you have sunshine all the time, you have California and everybody's fucked up.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do because they're baffled. Because it's like someone who stays up for 5 days in a row. You lose the cycle. There's no cycle, so
Yeah.
you get confused. You need a little winter. You need a little sun. You need a little cold. You need a little bit of everything. You can't just only eat cake, you fuck. You can't
What?
just eat cake. That's what like California people are doing. They're just eating cake. You know, but even California now, they're recognizing like Los Angeles is hitting a massive crime wave. Like fucking crime is everywhere. I know so many friends who their apartments were broken into, their cars were broken into, they've been robbed. So many people are getting robbed there. It's just a totally different situation. And, you know, that makes it more dangerous, but it also makes it more exciting.
Yeah, a little more fun.
A little more fun.
Yeah, Philly's doing that too.
Like Burr was saying when he did
Philly's
Saturday Night
rough.
Live, and
Yeah.
when he did that sketch, or that opening monologue, rather, and he talked about, what's his name? That got punched? The little dude?
Yeah, the guy from
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. What the fuck's his name? Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
They punched Rick Moranis. He goes, New York's back, baby.
yeah. That was a rough one, dude.
Yeah.
Rick took one on the chin.
Yeah, he, out of nowhere, for no reason. Someone just
Yeah.
sucker punched him. But that's what happens when you have
They
all
shouldn't have
this...
shrunk those fucking kids. It's probably that homeless guy probably saw that. It was like,
Maybe. You got mad.
I don't like people playing with my kids.
Right. Probably. It's all this crazy rhetoric. This white people are terrible rhetoric. We just allowed to just run up to random whiteys and punch them.
Yeah, that's good though. Keeps our head on a swivel a little.
Maybe.
It's time for the whiteys to start.
When you're 60 years old and you don't know karate,
It's true.
and you're Rick Moranis,
It's true.
it's probably not the
Just
best.
getting leveled.
Yeah, and that guy's not going to recover from that well.
No.
You know? He's not Mark
Yeah.
Hunt.
Yeah, Rick he'll bounce back. Rick's tough, dude. What do you know about
You think?
Rick?
I don't know anything about
He's got
Rick.
a chin.
I'm just
That's the
taking
one
a
thing.
guess. I don't think so. He went down pretty quick.
Well, it was a sneak shot,
It
dude.
was a sneak shot. That's true. Yeah.
You can see his instincts kick in a little. He did.
Really? You think so? A little covering
Yeah,
up?
if you watch it close, you'll see Rick.
I thought that was like a seizure.
No, he definitely did not.
Okay.
He did not react at all. Dude. He got leveled. A day later,
I hope he's
he was
okay.
like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim told me, Dylan told me that he was in Times Square and he felt like he was being hunted. He's like, dude, he goes, it's so dangerous there now. It used to be like so easy to walk, and now you walk into the streets, you feel like a victim.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I just moved there. I moved there like a year before COVID started.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From where?
Philly.
Oh, that's where you're from?
Yeah. No, I'm from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Where'd you start doing stand-up?
The first open mics I did were at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone.
My parents used to live in Harrisburg.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they moved to Harrisburg for a while. They lived in Harrisburg, and they lived somewhere else out there. There was another, like, real rural area of Pennsylvania. I'm like, people that think of Pennsylvania, they think of Philly. You know, you think of Pennsylvania, you think of Pittsburgh, you think Philly,
Yeah.
you think cities. You're out there, you just smell cow shit, and
Yeah.
you see deer everywhere.
Lancaster, PA, a lot of Amish. Mechanicsburg's. It was white trash. It's getting a little more, it's getting gentrified.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, people are spreading out.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's one thing that happened with COVID. People are moving out of cities in a
Yeah.
lot of places. There's still plenty of people in cities, obviously. But a lot of folks are like, do I need to do this? I can work from home.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice. I think that's the plan eventually.
For you?
Like to get good enough at stand up to do like what Nate Bargatze's doing, just living in fucking Tennessee,
Nashville.
just traveling. Yeah.
Or you could live out here. This is the move.
I don't know, man.
You don't like it out here?
No, I like it. It's fine. I like the Northeast.
Yeah,
I do.
I get it.
And I just got in at the cellar and all that, so
Yeah.
I want to do that for a while.
Well, you could always just travel around too. You know,
Yeah.
you could always just get a condo and just. I mean, when you like guys like Tim that have places out here that you can stay at. Like I would buy a comedy condo, but I do not trust comedians. Like
No.
for the club, I would have a condo out here where comics could stay, but they'll ruin it.
They will ruin it.
They'll punch a hole in the wall and piss in it, and then show me
Yeah.
a video. I'm like, what are you doing? Come on, man, you're rich.
True.
Come on, dude.
That's it.
The fight was
swear
funny.
to God, before I came here, me and Ari were talking about that.
It was funny.
We're staying at Tim's place. We should just fucking destroy this house.
That's what I'm saying. And if it's mine, they probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would never do that.
I know
Not
you
to you.
wouldn't, but some guys would.
Some guys might.
Yeah, some guys
But
for
they don't
sure
know you
will.
know fucking karate.
They
dude.
know.
Fuck them up.
They don't care.
Just a leg
And then
kick.
they'll be happy that they'll sue you, and then they'll make even more money.
True. I dare you to fucking leg kick.
They're like, all I did was make a video of pissing in a hole in his wall. Whatever.
What's this guy's problem?
Tell me he hasn't done that before?
You ever piss in a hole in the wall?
If I had a hole in someone's wall and I was drunk and it was funny and somebody had a camera, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is good.
You know, because you think you're never going to get that piss out of the wall.
Yeah. I had a friend that did that. He was at a house party and he got in a fight. And then he went and punched a hole in the wall and threw up in it. John Nunn, what up, bro? I think he's trying to have a career right now. So,
What's he having a career in?
I think actually film. He's working. He does.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can only
Like I
help.
said, yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that was a good story. I think he got stabbed too at this
Oh,
party.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. That's a real party.
Yeah, he had a party. Punching a hole in a wall after you're losing a fight and throwing up in it.
Have you ever been at a party where a full melee brawl breaks out?
Like a bunch of yeah, in college.
I was in one in, just when I graduated high school. There was a kid who was, I think he was from Iran, and his family had a lot of money, and they had a mansion in Beacon Hill. I think it was in Beacon Hill. I'm trying to remember. I don't know, but it was somewhere in the Newton, Massachusetts area where they have like a lot of money. And this kid just invited everybody over to his house. So all these people that he didn't know, hundreds of kids were at this guy's party. And this girl, I still to this day can't remember what she did. She either threw a drink in a guy's face or she hit him. I can't remember what happened, but I was there when the first spark started the fire. I remember exactly where I was. There was like a staircase, and there was like this banister, and I was watching it from here, and I don't remember, I think she threw a drink at him. And this dude just fucking uncorks a picture-perfect right hand in her face.
Oh, lady?
Bam! Punched her, her head snaps back, she goes out, she falls back, and then madness.
Yeah.
And then madness. And then there's fucking people jumping on people and smashing things and throwing people over stairs. And and I'm like fucking ducking, and I make my way out. There's piles of people. I'm looking for my friends. It was wild.
Yeah, well, it was pre-Twitter. That's how they handled it.
Yeah. It was way this is like the 80s. It was wild.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. It was just like, all of a sudden you could feel it in the air. Like people were just looking to punch people. It's like something happens to people when there's like a mob mentality thing. Like people were just looking to punch people. Like you could tell. People didn't even know anybody. They were just looking at you like, maybe I'll punch you. You're like, hey, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah. It's like, whose side are you on?
Yeah, no sides. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I snuck through it without getting hit, and I got outside, and friends of mine were like in piles. Piles of people fighting random piles of other people.
The last one, it was in high school. We got in a group fight. I went to the Catholic high school. The public high school, we decided to meet to fight, and I guess half their guys didn't show up to the fight, so we just jumped them.
How many kids?
It was probably we were probably about 20 to 30 deep. They were probably like 10. We just beat the fuck out of these kids. My one friend Bison, dude, he was like,
you have a friend named Bison?
Yeah, it's his nickname. He's going to be very happy when he hears this. He's a big guy. He was way out of high school. He was like 24. He showed up.
Oh, no.
He was huge. He started doing wrestling moves to these kids.
Oh, no.
He had a kid in a lion tamer.
Oh,
Put him in the walls of Jericho.
Jesus Christ.
Kid was crying.
Jesus Christ.
It was wonderful, yeah.
That's child abuse.
That was, yeah. He should face
charges.
He should face charges.
Something.
Yeah.
Someone should call his mom at least.
Yeah, but it was funny because a lot of the kids who were like afraid to fight that were with us, like my friends, were like kind of hiding. It was at night, so they're like hiding in the dark. And then once one kid from the other school went down, they'd all swarm and start kicking him in the face and shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was
mob
nice.
mentality
That's
is
the walls
real.
of Jericho.
Yes, that's what happened.
That's what he meant.
Now imagine a 25-year-old man
Jesus.
who was like 350 pounds.
So an MMA fighter used the walls of Jericho to
Chris
win a
Jericho,
match?
that's his name.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what MMA fighter used that to win a match?
Oh, no, in his fight.
No.
No,
Look,
the
see, it says
caption.
MMA fighter.
Oh, Jesus
used.
Christ, I didn't see that's what you're seeing.
God
Yeah.
damn it, Jamie.
Jamie's
I
blind.
wasn't looking at the screen.
Who the fuck used that in a fight? If you used that in a... Oh my God, he really did. Look at
No.
this.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
That works, man. That's tremendous pressure on your back.
Boston
That's
crab.
crazy.
Yeah, I saw it happen to a guy. He cried.
So they're calling it a Boston crab? Is that a Boston crab? Let's see, dude, you're tagged in that.
I know. That's a long time ago.
That's hilarious. Look, it says Jamie
197
Vernon.
weeks ago.
197 weeks ago. Wow. Look at that. That seems like it would hurt. Like legit
Yeah.
work. And once someone has your legs in that position and they've got their center of gravity over your lower back, you're not really getting out of that. I don't see how to get out of that. Like if you get to that position right there, you're kind of fucked.
Every single younger brother on earth has had that happen to them.
It's like you shouldn't ever get to that spot. But if someone does get you to that spot, I'm trying to think of how you would get out of that. I don't think there's a clear way out of that. Because the way your body is bent, like you would have to figure out a way to rotate, but you're not going to rotate with full hold of your legs like that, and then someone leaning on your back, and you're trying to turn, you're fucked.
Yeah.
That might be like the ultimate finishing move. It's just pain, though.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's like, it's not going to take you out.
That?
It's just going to hurt.
That could fuck you. That could fuck your spine up, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it just puts your spine in a very bad position where it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Here it is. Is this the same fight or a different
Yeah.
one?
And I think it's the same thing because it just was like a cleaner video of it.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Different
Oh
guy.
my God.
Different guy. This is another guy doing it.
Sure.
I think so because he
did the
stuck
same-
his tongue out.
I know. I think that guy did it too.
Oh, really? Yeah, oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. Look at the shorts. Same
Yeah.
color shorts. Yep, that's him. They just didn't have the full video. That's crazy that he did that. Because once you get into that position, like when someone has both of your legs tucked under the arms like that, I don't know what you're going to be able to do. You know what this is? This is a guy who's way better. The guy in the blue, he's way better, and the other guy's already done.
Yeah,
so
he did a wrestling move to him.
He decides to have some fun. He's tapping. Yeah, you have to tap from that. Well, the key is to never let yourself get into that position. Shout out to that fella, whoever he is.
Yeah, he should have not gotten in the ring.
John O'Mears.
John O'Mears?
John O'Jonno is his first name. John O.
John O'Mears, yeah. Congratulations, John. So that's a Boston Crab, or is that the Walls of Jericho? What's the difference?
I think both. I think it's Chris Jericho doing it makes it the Walls of Jericho.
Oh,
Otherwise it's a Boston Crab.
Makes sense.
Shout out to the other guy, too. Congratulations on reliving the worst thing that's ever happened to you on a gigantic platform.
It's not the worst way to get tapped.
What?
Yeah. No, there's worse ways, for sure. Wrist locks.
Oh, yeah. That
People
would
get so
just
sad
like,
when someone catches them in a wrist lock. Like, Jesus Christ. A wrist lock in an MMA fight is a very embarrassing moment. Yeah, it's embarrassing because it hurts like hell. Like, you will tap. But in jiu-jitsu, it's like the most embarrassing way to get tapped if somebody gets you in a wrist lock.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the most embarrassing is getting tapped by like a girl, right?
But that happens.
And that happens to everybody that does jiu-jitsu.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if
They
you...
always show up early and they're like, I'll be pretty good at this. And they pair you up with a girl.
Then all of a
you
sudden
get fucking
she's
tapped.
fucking behind your back, just choking the shit out of
Yeah,
you.
you're like, I thought I'd be into this.
It's humiliating. When you find out a woman can kill you, it's very sad. A woman who weighs less than you, who's weaker than you, but she can kill you
Yeah.
easily,
I don't want to find out.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Like Duncan, I got Duncan a year of jiu-jitsu once for Christmas, and he went to classes and he was doing it with this girl, and she was new. She wasn't even an expert.
They're starting together.
They're both starting together, and she was strangling him. And I was like, oh, Duncan, we got to work on this.
No, just get out of the sport. It's not for
He's
you.
like, dude, she just killed me.
Yeah, you got to go home.
Yeah. He eventually decided it was not for him. He could have stuck with it, though. He would have figured it out.
And then one day beat a girl?
No, beat guys. You move from girls to guys.
I guess.
Yeah.
Look, I don't do that stuff.
When I started, there was very few women doing it. Very few. It was
I remember
really rare.
Football when I was a kid. When we were very young, there'd be girls.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I remember
wild.
that. Yeah,
Those girls are wild.
they were.
Any girl willing to play tackle football with boys,
Yeah.
holy shit.
And then once, then we all hit puberty and they couldn't play. But there was some
Right.
lingering around. Some giant lesbians.
Did you see? Did you see that giant transgender woman that's playing rugby in Australia?
No, she probably
Yeah.
rules.
She's the king.
She's the king.
She's the king. She's a 250
She's
pound
trucking
man.
people. She's Simone.
She's a
No?
white guy.
Oh man, she's a white guy.
You never seen it? Show the video. The video is hilarious.
They're always
Because
so funny.
I don't even know if this person's undergone any transition because we've gotten to this super preposterous point where you can just say you're a woman. You don't have to do anything. Like there was a thing about a woman getting arrested for child molestation.
Yeah.
And I'll send the video because I'm gonna send you this.
That's what teachers should
Jamie.
do.
But no, you have to see this because this woman has a beard. Yeah, look at this.
Shit, dude.
Look at that. Come on, look at the size of that male human being who is playing rugby against women. I mean, hilarious, right?
Great tits, though.
Yeah, really good
Pretty hot.
tits.
They did good there.
Brand new.
Ah, some nice tits you've got.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna send you this, Jamie. Hold on a second.
Damn, look at the mitts on that lady.
So I just sent it to you, Jamie. Yeah, that's a large person to be playing rugby against women. And I would say that was probably an unfair decision. But who am I?
I'll tell you what.
Look at this. Woman charged after allegedly sexually assaulting boy 6 in Toronto Park. Woman with stubble, a crew cut, the most manly face, like a square jaw. That's a fucking male human being. His name is Ruby Ebby. Okay. It's a woman. But look at the title. The title says woman.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they at least say woman with a penis? Who also has a stubble, also has a beard? They don't even say anything about the person being transgender. It's so hilarious. We've gone through the looking glass where everything's nuts. She is charged with sexual interference with a person under the age of 16 and sexual assault. Like,
is there any small chance that they just like accidentally put the wrong picture up in the article?
what do you think?
Probably not, but it's happened before, and there's like, oops, we put the wrong.
What are you working for the Toronto government?
No,
Yeah,
I'm just asking. I'm just
Look at this
asking.
fuck.
What's the matter with
Just
you?
asking.
What is the matter with you?
Just asking.
You don't support the 6-year-old boy?
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, bro, you are a pro molester. It's just the
That's
fact
what
that
the teachers should do that. The male teachers that get in trouble for hooking up with kids.
say they're
They
women.
should be like, I actually identify as a woman.
Yeah, you get a way lighter sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
women who molest boys, like everybody's like, what's
I retract. I've now Googled the name. I see it everywhere. Okay.
yeah, that's it.
I was just checking.
That looks. If I had a bet, guy or girl, I mean, I'm leaning heavily
on
towards
that
guy.
on that woman on
Yeah.
Ruby.
On Ruby, the guy, or the girl, the woman.
I'm gonna take her word for it.
Wow, you're amazing. You're so open-minded.
I don't
So
care what she's
progressive.
done in the past.
Yeah, right? Like, why should we judge? Walk a mile in her shoes. That's another thing they're trying to do now. They're trying to say that that's a sexual orientation, and that being a pedophile is actually a sexual orientation. No,
Technically, it is.
I've seen. I guess
Technically, it is that. It's just a bad one.
it's the worst one.
It's the worst one you can do.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've seen we talked about it recently. I saw a professor talking about how a woman, or a man rather, could have a sexual consenting relationship with a 13-year-old, and I was like, what in the fuck are you saying?
It was a Viking.
Maybe it's a guy with no kids. How about that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because you have no kids, you think stupid shit because you think it makes you sound progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to get to. Through being progressive. That's a tough one.
Yeah. I don't know, man. People can make some fucking weird mental leaps in gymnastics. They can justify some wacky shit. There's
Yeah.
also some people that are just a real contrarian. They just want things to be okay, even if they're not okay, so they'll argue for it as an intellectual exercise. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
They do. It's fucking strange.
That'd be a tough one to present, though. Like, be like, no, this is how I feel. I think pedophiles.
You would say that, but we are
They're all
so
right.
through the looking glass with so many things that really are preposterous that I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. You know, like the idea that you can't be racist if you're a person of color. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Because race has something to do. It has something to do with power. Like, okay, that's not true. That's
Yeah, of course.
not true.
Of course. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
We know it's not true. We've
They know
literally
it's not
seen
true
it
too.
and experienced it.
They know it's not true too,
Yeah.
but they're counting the fact that the people that say this, first of all, they're all people of color, so they're in a protected class, or they're white people who feel extra guilty, so they want you to feel bad. And so they want to show you that they're on the side, the
Yeah.
good side. They're on the side
They're
of the
just-
people that are anti-racist.
The thing about the white people, or the people of color can't be racist is because, like, you call a white person, like, whatever, cracker. We're like, whatever. But they found a loophole, and it's to call us racist. That one hurts.
That does hurt.
That's like our N-word.
That is.
Someone's like, you're racist. You're like, what did you say about me?
It's even worse because it makes you feel guilty.
Sure.
Because if someone calls you a bad word, like a negative stereotype about your race, they're the piece of shit, not you.
Yeah.
If someone calls you a racist, now you have to defend yourself against
Yeah.
being a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's tough. I've been there. It's
Yeah.
a tough one to defend against.
What was your experience like with the whole SNL debacle thing? What was that like?
It's very, very crazy. I don't know. It's tough to... There's not many people that you can even talk to about it. You know? Because it fucks you up a little. Like, it makes you, like, not trust people and shit for a while.
Like in what way?
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Back to the experience of it was like, you just, it was kind of surreal. Because I was one of the first people to get, like, canceled, or however you want to say it, consequences? However you want to say it. Doesn't matter what we call it. It is what it is.
Right.
But, I was one of the first people to go from, I was poor. I was not famous at all. I was poor. And then I got canceled immediately. Like, that was my thing. Like,
Right.
it was a
Yeah,
very
you didn't
different
get
experience.
famous and then
Yeah,
get
most people
canceled.
that get canceled are, yeah.
You got canceled on the way.
I got canceled immediately.
Yeah.
They literally were like, how about this guy? And everyone was like, no.
So you got cast on SNL,
Yes.
and then what happened?
So I found out I was getting on SNL the day before they announced it. So I got a call. They're like, hey, we want to put you on the cast. The whole time we'll start from the top. My agents and all those people, they were like, do you want to write, do you want to send a packet in for SNL? And I was like, no, I'm not going to be a writer. I won't work on that show. And then I guess they saw me at JFL and Comedy Central thing, and they were like, we like him, we want him to audition. He can come straight in to audition. So I went straight to the main stage for the audition. And the whole time leading up to it, I was like, I'm never going to get this. I don't care. I want to do stand-up. I kind of hated SNL at that point. Because every sketch was like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'll never fit in there. And then when you go to audition, it's just, you just wait your turn in a green room, and they keep you there extra long for like 2 or 3 hours to like make you nervous.
Really?
But I knew I was certain I was never going to get it. And I really wasn't nervous. I was in there fucking dipping, hanging out. And then they were like, all right, it's your turn to go. But that's when the nerves hit. Like, you walk in and you see the main stage. Because that's what you audition on, is like the stage.
Wow.
And it's a totally empty studio. The whole room's empty except for a table of like writers and producers and Lorne Michaels. And then you go on and they're like, 3, 2, go, do 5 minutes.
Wow.
In front of just a camera, right?
And
in
are
front
you
of
doing stand-up?
I did stand-up.
Wow.
I did 5 minutes of stand-up, that's all. And then I ran into Michael Che that night, and I was so nervous. Like, I was so nervous when I was auditioning that I had to like hold the mic against my chin because my hand was fucking shaking. Well, it was crazy. There's no one in the room. You just have to do stand-up for 5 minutes to no one.
That's so weird.
It was so weird. And you're not supposed to look at or acknowledge the table of writers and producers or whatever.
What? They have rules?
They have rules that your agents tell you.
Oh.
They never told you any rules.
So your agent says, do not look at the writers.
Yeah, they're like, don't even acknowledge them. Pretend the room's full. Just go. And everybody was like, they're never going to laugh. The table, Lorne, all them, they're not going to laugh. First thing I said, they all started laughing. And I was like, I was supposed to not acknowledge them. But, I was doing stand-up.
Do you remember what you said?
No, I don't. Genuinely.
You just did a bit.
Yeah, I was nervous. But as soon as they started laughing, I was like, and then went back to, you know what I mean? I was like looking at them. I could see they were laughing. And I was told the whole time, no one's going to laugh. They were laughing. I was like, oh, fuck. I did pretty good. Ran into Che that night. I was like, I sucked. I was nervous. He was like, no, that was good. Then a couple days later, you get a call back and you go into the office and you meet everybody and you walk around and talk to everybody. And the people I was with that were also doing that, then you go into Lorne Michaels' office to meet him. So the 3 people I was with, they all went in slowly, met him, left. One guy didn't even get invited in. They just sent him home, which is fucked up. They invited him to the callback and then were like, no, never mind.
Wow.
And then they kept me there for an extra hour by myself. And I was just sitting there like, oh, fuck, I got this. Like, I'm going to be on it. Like, I can't believe I got this. I wasn't even excited. I was just like, this is wild. This is fucking nuts. And then I go in and meet with Lorne, and he's the man. He's a nice guy. And he was like, I'm going to use you, but I don't know how. And like all that shit. And then time passes, and I figured they were going to ask me to be a writer. Because that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Usually you work on the show to experience what the show's like. But I don't know. I didn't want to be a writer.
By all accounts, that place is a den of thieves.
Everybody, yeah.
A den of thieves. You hear Jim Brewer's account of the climate in that place,
yeah.
And it's horrific.
Yeah.
They're all stealing from writers. They're stealing from performers. If you're a writer and you submit your packages, the higher-up writers will steal your shit, according to Brewer.
Yeah.
If you submit a package, they own that package, even if they don't hire you.
I know that.
So if you have some great premises, they decide they're just going to take your premises and not hire you. They own all those bits.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, I don't care about writing. I didn't want to be a writer.
Right.
So I was like, even if they offer me the writing thing, I was like, I don't want to take it. I think I would have at the time. But anyway, they asked me to go straight to cast. So I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Lorne calls, says, hey, we want to use you on the show. We're going to announce it tomorrow. He was like, do you have anything, you want us to check out? Like, they have people that vet you,
Right.
but they're not used to people having podcasts.
Right. So they'd have to go through hundreds
They
of
go
hours
through
of
your
shit.
Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. I was just like, I'll just delete all that shit. I don't care. Delete it all.
Right.
But I was like, I also have a podcast. And they're like, yeah, what's that? And I was like, I don't know. I say, like, gay and retard a lot. And they were like, oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So I was like, all right, we'll see. And so the day they announced it, it was cool. It was very cool. You hear from everybody you've ever grown up with. They're all like, holy shit. What just, like, I can't believe you're on this. And then, so that lasted for about, like, 3 hours before an article came out. That was like, here's what this guy says. There's a clip of me saying some, unsavory stuff.
Yeah.
But
Talking shit.
it was the one podcast we ever filmed. That's the one they used.
Wow.
And it just happened. And it was funny, too, because people were like, man, they really had to dig to find this. I was like, that's probably like 3 minutes in. It's like, we had one podcast online, and it was 3 minutes in.
Well, it's
yeah.
what we were saying earlier. That's what podcasts are, and that's what comics do a lot. We talk shit. It doesn't mean you really mean those things, but the idea today is that talking shit is not real. They want to take out of context phrases and sentences that you've used and put them in quotes and make you look like a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It was only one article that came out?
No, there was
Quite a few.
so many articles. I think I was number one on Twitter for like 3 straight days.
Wow.
Of just getting fucking eviscerated.
Did you read it all?
Yeah, oh, I read all of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, everybody was like, stop reading comments. I still read comments. I
Do
read
you?
every comment.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's fucked up. And it's crazy, too, because I'll read like 90 good ones and then one bad one.
The one bad one will fuck you up.
Just depends which one it is.
Right.
You know, I'll get called like, fat retard constantly. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I can walk through that, no problem.
Right.
But then there'll be one that's like, he's nervous, like something where they get you, where they know you.
Yeah.
Like, he laughs at his own jokes on every podcast. It's like, oh, fuck.
Do I? Shit. Right.
Anyway, so I get, all that stuff comes out, and it was funny. This is funny. I went into Lorne Michaels' office, and he was talking, and I was convinced I was getting fired. Like, I knew I was getting fired. Because if they didn't get me on that, there's so much more. So much worse. And so he was talking to me, and he was like, no, we think we can, he's like, if we just get you to the first episode, like, people will see you're not a piece of shit person.
Right.
Like, just talk. And I was like, whatever, I'll do, if I get fired here, whatever, I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week, and I'll be fine. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No?
What?
I was like, I literally...
Is that what you thought?
I literally thought that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny.
Well, it could have been funny.
Yeah.
I was booked up, though.
No, it's fine. It was just funny to truly... That was a conversation I actually had.
Really?
In Lorne Michaels' office, in the middle of that.
That's hilarious.
I was in pure fucking panic.
Terror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
Because I remember somebody contacted me, like, to have you on. And I was like, I don't have any room. Like, for a
Yeah.
long... I could do, like, an emergency podcast, but I'm like, let this dude ride this out.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one eventually.
Truly glad that did not happen. Because
So-
I would have come in emotional.
Yeah.
I would have come in like,
Guns
what happened to me
blazing.
isn't fair. You
Right.
know? And I never felt that way. Like, the whole time I was like, I kind of get it.
When someone gets really canceled, you need perspective.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like you need that venom to work its way through your system. And then you develop a certain amount of immunity to the actual moment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up being a good thing.
So when Lauren pulls you in the office and says, we just have to get you to the stage. We just
Yeah.
have to get you to an episode. Then what happens?
It just kept steamrolling. Like, it didn't dissipate at all. Like, it kept being like, no, you guys need to fire him. And I get it.
Because,
and then,
well, that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
The fun in going after someone is not going after someone and then no consequences. That makes them sad.
yeah,
What makes them happy is they can get you fired.
yeah. And they did. They did a good job.
Yeah, good
They
job,
got
everybody.
me. Yeah, and it's fine. Look, the whole
Dude,
time.
here's why it's fine. Your sketches that you're doing, what is it, Gillian Keeves?
Yeah.
Those are the best fucking comedy sketches that are on the internet right now. And
Thank you.
I'm not bullshitting. The only thing that's at the same level is Kyle Dunnigan's shit.
Oh, man.
Kyle Dunnigan, the shit
Oh,
that he's
my
doing.
God, dude.
because he's got a massive advantage with that face swap, though.
And he's so good at fucking impressions.
He's amazing. Have you seen the new thing that Dunnigan is doing? He's the fucking, what is it? He does a Fresh Prince takeoff with Biden. What is it called?
Yeah, Fresh Prince of DC.
Yeah,
something
like that. Fresh Prez.
Yeah,
dude, it's tear jerking.
His Bill Maher.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
New rule.
Yeah,
it just, oh my god.
And there's something about it that it's almost got like a South Park-esque quality to it because it looks so fake, but it's obvious. It's like these things. Like, look how bad these look. Look at the little tiny hand he holds up for Bill Maher. Like, the face swap thing is amazing. It really is amazing because he's like, look at the AOC. Because it looks so fake. Like, you would never believe that that's the real person. So it's comedic. But it's also, the material's brilliant. And you can get away with so much in someone else's voice when everybody knows it's not really that person.
Yeah.
It's really one of the most genius platforms ever created.
Yeah.
And he's the master. Him and Kurt Metzger. They're incredible.
They're both,
It's the best shit.
Kurt's like he's one of my favorite comedians.
But the shit you're doing is right up there with that. It's really fucking funny, man. It's really funny, and it's like something you would never be able to do on SNL. The stuff you guys are doing. How are you financing this stuff?
I financed half, and then we had a production company that financed half.
The Trump one was amazing. The Trump speed dating.
Yeah, it's John McKeever. He's Keeves. He's incredible. Writer, director, he writes all these, edits them, makes them.
They're really good, man.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Damn, I spazzed on that SNL story.
No, you didn't at all. How do you spaz?
I felt like it came out bad.
No. Look, it's an awkward story.
It is. And it's always, here's what's uncomfortable about it, is I don't want to sound like, it's weird for me to rail against cancel culture, because I was a victim of it, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean?
Why is it weird for you to rail against it?
I don't know. I just, it makes me...
Seems defensive?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather just be like, look, if people bring up cancel culture, I'm just like...
Honestly, I really believe it's better for you in the long run. I really do. You're a brilliant comedian, and I think your sketches are incredible, and I think it's better that you not get attached to something that's ultimately corrupting.
And I don't want to be on the other side of it, where it's like, I'm a free speech guy, I'm a fucking... It's like, dude, I don't want to be involved in any of this. I just want to do comedy.
The free speech thing should be... It should just be uniform. Everyone who's involved in creative endeavor should understand context and nuance.
Yeah.
And when they don't, they're either being disingenuous or they're stupid. It's one of two things. Either you don't agree with someone talking shit, which is fine. Maybe you don't like talking shit because you're a more serious person.
Yeah, and in which case comedy is the right venue for you.
But you should, it's not the right, but you should also understand, you know what people are doing. And if you don't know what people are doing, you're either an idiot or you're an asshole. You're either purposely trying to ignore subtlety and nuance and the fact that there's context to what people are doing and joking around. Joking around is a real thing. And how come you can joke around about all sorts of stuff, but you can't joke around about race? Like, why not?
Yeah.
How come? Why does that make you bad? You can joke around about women, you can joke around about men, you can joke around about your dick, you can joke around about anal sex, you can joke around about drugs. You can't joke around about race. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
We're just so oversensitive and we're so worried about being called out for stuff. That's why everybody's so scary.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah, people get very afraid of getting called out
and very afraid of not calling out someone else because then silence is violence.
True. You just got to take a second. Like, don't get caught up in it. Like if I see other people fuck up and say something crazy, even still, my first reaction is like, whoa, what the fuck were they thinking?
Right.
And then 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I'll be like, all right, he was fucking around. I get it.
Yeah.
But there's still that instinct. And then, especially if you just see a clip and it's wild.
Right.
You're going to be like, what the fuck
like the
was
Tony
that?
Hinchcliffe thing.
Tony, Ari, all of us.
Yeah.
And every time you see it, Tony's perfect example. First time I saw it, I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
But then you see the whole video. And you go,
the whole thing.
oh, I see what he's doing. Then you realize that guy opened for Tony. And you're like, oh, he did kill Tony multiple times. You're like, oh, they're friends. That's just how people do it.
Yeah.
But people outside of our world don't understand. if someone, if you introduce someone and they go on stage and they say, "Thank you, give it up for Shane, that fucking loser, that fat drunk."
Yeah. Whoa, what the
and you're
fuck,
like,
dude?
"Hey, bro, what the fuck?" That's what people do. That's what we do as comics. And we fuck around. It's talking shit. And that's what Tony was doing. And it was real clear if you saw his whole set.
Absolutely.
That not only was he fucking around, but it actually worked.
Yeah.
Like, it got laughs. And it got laughs because the guy's whole set before him was talking about white people being mean to Asians.
Yes.
And he had this whole pandering thing. It was like, what I would really ask is, please stop being mean to us. Or, I'm paraphrasing,
Sure.
whatever it was. And then Tony goes on right afterwards and says that horrible shit.
Says the worst things he could.
And it's funny.
Yes.
That's why people laughed.
That's it.
It's not like a racist convention at Vulcan Gas Company.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
I mean,
comedy.
that's all it is.
It's comedy.
It was comedy.
Yeah, and maybe it's not your kind of comedy. That's okay too. But don't pretend that's his real thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. This is the thing about joking around. It's like it can be weaponized. It can be weaponized against you.
I had people coming to shows, recording my sets, and then typing them out as if they were real.
Yeah, well, I do that bit. I don't know if you
It's
saw
crazy.
it. The bit that I do about what happened when I endorsed Bernie Sanders, where people were taking small pieces of stand-up bits and taking them out of context and using them to show what a piece of shit I am.
It's like, here's a joke.
Yeah.
Clearly, and if you type out someone's stand-up or a podcast,
especially a segment of it, just take the worst parts.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
intentional. It's just,
They're
they're trying to get clicks. I don't even think half of them care.
they're cunts. They care. They're all cunts. Anybody
Yeah?
who's doing that's a cunt. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Oh, they do.
They're
They do
taking
know what
things
they're
out
doing,
of
but I
context.
don't think what I meant to
It's
say is they don't care.
deceptive.
I meant to say they're not hurt by it. They're
No.
literally just like, look at this, look at this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Here's wild shit.
No, they're not hurt by
Yeah.
what you're saying. No, they know what they're doing. What
Yeah.
they're doing is they're intentionally taking something out of context and they're trying to make it something that it's not. There's a lot of range in when people are saying things. They don't necessarily. They're not trying to offend.
Yeah.
When you're saying something in the
What type of
context
comedian
comedy,
would ever
try to
really
offend?
would be like, all right, I'm going to go out there tonight and really say the worst thing I can think of to these people.
A guy who's
I
gonna
don't
fail.
fucking like them.
A failure.
Yeah.
Those comics that fail. Well, Patrice always had the very best line about all this stuff. He said, if you think of something is really funny or if you think something is offensive, it comes from the same place. A guy's just trying to have a bit, work on stage and get laughs. That's what they're doing. And for people who don't know, when we create stand-up, we really don't know if something's going to be funny. There's many times where you have an idea and you're like, fuck, I hope this works.
Yeah.
And you go up there and you swing, and every now and then it does.
Yeah. And when it doesn't work,
Yeah.
you got to go. Sometimes if you say something fucked up and it doesn't work, you got to be like, all right, my bad.
Yeah.
Everybody?
I've many times said, well, that's
Yeah.
the last time I'll ever
Yeah, of
say that
course.
one again.
And then you say it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, this
A
crowd
different
likes
way.
it, you motherfuckers. I knew last night was fucking pussies.
So they don't fire you at first,
Yeah.
but then it keeps piling on.
Yeah, it was only like 4 days. But the whole time I knew I was getting fucking crushed. Oh,
Yeah.
and they make you have to put out a statement. So they were like, and this was like within hours.
Who makes you? SNL?
NBC asked me to put out a statement. And the statement they send you is just fucking
They
crazy.
wrote a statement for you.
They were like, here's what you got to say. It was inexcusable. You got to say all this stuff.
Wow.
And I was just like,
Did you write it? Did you
no,
put
my
it out?
statement was bad though.
What'd you say?
Sorry, let me give you some context here because it was. Hold on,
One more.
one more. I'm gonna have 4 more after that. Said I was gonna do your podcast joke.
Oh, sorry about that. I wasn't
God
sure. I
damn,
thought that was
dude,
going
that thing's
somewhere
been
else.
in my head for fucking 5 minutes or however long it's been. You know,
That?
Saving
Really?
Private Ryan when he gets the ring in his
sorry.
ears.
I thought there was more to it. I was just like letting it
You're
hang
like-
there in the air.
Dude, I like felt my face go flush. I was like, oh fuck, I blew it. Dude, go back and watch the tape on that. That's gonna be rough.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't give you enough.
No. I
was
just thought
hanging
it was,
there.
it was just funny how confident I was at the time. Of just like, I don't give a fuck, man. I'll go do Joe Rogan. And the call never came. And I was like, fuck. Dude. Oh, fuck. I was doing podcasts for a while, being like, Rogan, help.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's one thing about me not paying attention to anything. That
No,
shit
it's-
doesn't get back
I mean,
to
I was
me.
just joking, obviously. I never felt like I was entitled to anything like that, but it was fun to go on podcasts and be like, St. Rogies, help, dude. We pray to St. Rogies, dude, descend and save me.
You gotta kind of just go through these things, you know.
I agree.
In the end, one of the things that you and I have been talking about is that it made you stronger. It really did, right?
Definitely.
Made your stand-up stronger.
Absolutely.
Like when people hear you, and I heard it last night when they introduce you, and Tuesday night too.
Yeah.
People go shithouse. They get nuts. They're happy you're there.
But for a while, what happens the first couple weeks I was in New York too, so people are very uptight, and you go on stage and then it's just in your head. Like you see people like whisper to each other, and you're like, he's telling her who I am. She's gonna be like everything you see,
and you see the girl's face change. Like,
and I mean,
racist.
I was having dreams about fucking comments. I was having dude, it was crazy. I'd have a dream about comments or tweets about the worst secrets in my entire life being out there.
Wow.
Because that's what happens. People post pictures of your family out.
Right.
Your family's out. You get people getting death threats. You know, my family's getting letters from fucking dudes. It's like, we're gonna kill you. And my family has no idea, what this is.
Right.
Like, we're getting death threats. I was like, death threats are nothing. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. But they're just in Mechanicsburg.
Right.
Chilling.
Fuck. Wow.
And this was the first thing they were proud of. You know, my parents, they don't know shit. I'm like, I got JFL. They're like, what the fuck's that?
Right.
I got this. And they're like, but then when you say I'm on SNL, they're like, finally we can be proud of this loser. And then 4 days later, the whole world's like, your son's a racist piece of shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
That's who I felt bad for.
So it lasts for 4 days.
4 days.
You put out the statement. What does the statement say, roughly?
All right. So they send you, they're like, hey, you need to apologize right now. You need to apologize. And I was like, can I just not apologize, please? That's how this gets passed. If we say nothing. If we start interacting with this at all, I'm fucked. I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know an NBC producer was on this group text was in. I just got it from an agent that was like, you need to apologize. I was like, fuck them. I'm not fucking apologizing. I had no idea NBC was in the group text. So it made me look like I was a baller, but as soon as I was like, oh, fuck. I'm looking at my phone fuck, dude, I'm fuck. I mean, it's pure panic.
Oh,
it's
my
pure
God.
panic. And this, again, I'm going from zero. No one knows who I am at all.
Right.
To the whole world is, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so they asked me to put out a statement. I'm like, fuck no, I can't do that. It was a ridiculous statement. Inexcusable, growth, all that shit.
Yeah.
That's just wild.
Yeah.
And I talked to some comedians, and they were like, how are you going to do stand-up again if you say this? How are you going to be able to go do comedy having just said everything I said was inexcusable? From now on, everything you said is, you know what I mean? It's just disgusting. Everything you've done, you regret, and it's disgusting. And then I talked to Lauren. Lauren called, and he was like, just give me something. Give me anything. Because I told him I couldn't do that. I was like, I can't do the sorry, inexcusable thing. And he was like, just give me something, but I need it in the next 10 minutes.
Whoa.
So I had fucking 10 minutes to write this thing.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting there. I mean, it's raining out. I was at the stand in New York. I was trying to do stand up. So I go in, and he's like, or my manager was like, just say you're a comedian that pushes boundaries. And sometimes, so my first thing I tweet out was I'm a comedian that pushes boundaries. And fuck, that's so lame, dude. God damn it, I blew it. But yeah, I was like, sorry to anybody that's actually offended. That was never my thing. Because I didn't think anyone was actually offended.
They probably really weren't.
Almost no one.
Well, there was a few.
Of course, there are people that saw it that were like, this bums me out that this word's getting thrown around.
Yeah.
You know? And I get that. And I am sorry for that.
Yeah, no, I believe you are. Yeah, because that's not the way you meant to do it in the context.
Yeah.
Again, it's a thing that people do. They're just talking shit. It's not real. It's like you're saying something inappropriate on purpose.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is if the other person knows you're not racist.
Yeah.
That's why it works. It works because you're saying something that's ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah. We're doing a podcast for 500 people.
Yeah.
That's how many people listen to this thing.
Yeah.
Me and him, me and my friend Matt McCusker, what up, bro?
What up, bro?
I can't believe it took this long to shout him out. You would like Matt.
I'm sure.
You guys are the same guy.
Really?
Yes. Everything you've said to me this week, I've heard from Matt. Like, dude, every single thing.
Really?
Yeah, you're like, humans were supposed to be like this. Like, we're supposed to be out gathering, like all that shit.
That's fine.
Matt. What the fuck was I saying? Who cares?
You were at your statement.
Oh, yeah.
10 minutes.
Statement. I had 10 minutes. I put this thing together. It's okay, but it's one of those things where it's like you're caught up in this moment of like, this is huge. You're emotional. And in a couple of, like, you're going to be embarrassed. Don't ever apologize. That's what I'm saying. Like,
you can apologize for hurting people's feelings.
Oh, for hurting people's feelings, certainly.
You can still apologize for things you said.
Don't issue a statement.
Yeah. The problem with those statements are so grandiose, too. It's like people, like, when Jimmy Kimmel made his statement about doing blackface in the 90s, it's like, oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. They know that you were just doing Karl Malone. They know you're not racist. Like this, you're appeasing to the worst humans.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is the people that want you to apologize for that stuff, they're all sanctimonious shitheads who are just trying to take people down. They're not really thinking you're a bad person. No reasonable human being thinks Jimmy Kimmel's a bad person or a racist. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're looking for targets. They got a bag of rocks and they're looking at windows.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun to watch someone get fucking crushed.
Oh, yeah.
That's what people like.
I like watching car accidents.
Yeah, all the time. I watch, the worst things possible. I watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And on Twitter, even today, even after it happened to me, I'll see it happening to someone else and be like, it's crazy.
It is, but, we were talking about Tony. When Tony goes on stage now, I'm telling you, the round of applause this fucking guy gets is like double what used to happen.
It's your
They
fans.
cheer.
It's fans reassuring you.
Yes.
We like you.
Yes.
We know what you did wasn't you.
Right.
Like, we know that.
We know it's just, you're just doing comedy. You're fucking around. And it might have been the wrong thing to say at the time, but he probably had about 5 seconds to think about what he was going to say as he was walking to the stage and said, I'm going to light these people up.
Yeah, I like to think about, like, Tony right before he went on, like, looking at someone like, watch this. Going on and just
ruining his life. Ruining his life for a full week.
Yeah. No, mine was for a couple months. I got fucking drilled by that. But, yeah, it's a very surreal thing.
How long before you went on stage again?
I went on stage that night. I did shows at the Stand.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that was the only place that I wouldn't have been freaking out.
Right.
Like, it was at a comedy club.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to go home and sit in my apartment alone.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been crazy.
That's crazy. What was it like the moment you went on stage? Like, knowing all this shit is happening to you?
Place went crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Because it was the biggest story at the time. So everyone in the room was like, it was the only time I've ever experienced, like, what it must be like to famous and do stand-up as, like, a drop-in. And then after time, it's funny, because after time, everybody forgets what happened.
Yeah.
So
Did you address it?
Yeah. That's all I talked about. I mean, it was happening.
Yeah.
While I was on stage.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And it happened.
It was fun.
And it lasted for months?
Yeah.
How long before they fired you? How many days was it?
4, maybe.
And so what was the decision? Like, how did they explain it?
I knew it was. I was the one that was like, you guys are gonna fire me. Like, it's okay. I get it. I wasn't even like, fuck them, I should have my job. I was like, I get it. I said something fucked up. This is a corporation. It's SNL. You can't.
Yeah.
I understand. Now, if it wasn't me, I'd probably be defending me.
Of course.
But because it was me, I was like, I said it, whatever. Keep making your fucking show.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. It's weird defending yourself. I don't know. Maybe I gotta improve my self-worth.
No. I think ultimately, look, life is filled with these weird trials and moments of revelation and ways you understand things. And the best way to understand consequences is to really have a moment where the walls come tumbling down. And when you come out on the other end and you don't think you're ever going to, because there had to be times where you didn't think you were going to come out on the other end.
Yeah.
But when you do, You just like there's a feeling of levity. It's lifted off
For sure. For sure, yeah.
It's also the embracing of the importance of stand-up comedy, like with the real raw
that was the best.
nightclub stand-up.
Oh, that was the best. There's been 2 times I've like loved stand-up comedy. One was I went through a breakup after a long time, and I was fucking devastated. I dated this girl for like 6 years, and then I went and did stand-up that night and like almost cried. Wow. Like because it was the first time I was happy after going through a breakup, and I was like, damn, I love this. Same thing with that. Like while you're getting fucking crushed by everybody, you can go out and do stand-up, and people are like, it's like, you guys like me. Yeah, everyone else hates me.
It's a wild art form, man.
It's fun.
It's so fun to watch still. I've been doing it for more than 30 years, and someone goes up and kills. I have a great time. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
it's the best thing to watch.
There's
so
nothing
much
better
fun.
than someone killing.
No, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
Nothing better when you don't know their material, too.
Yeah.
You've never seen them before, and they're just lighting a room on fire
Yeah.
with really interesting shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better, man. It is, because, like, if you're contained inside that Saturday Night Live structure, no disrespect to anybody that is, but you're not as free. You're going to be more reserved. You're gonna hold back.
Definitely. Yeah, there's that, for sure. I think I would have done well, though. That's what...
On the show, you would have killed it.
I think that's what bothers me the most, because people like to... Here's one thing that I noticed, that people that do the canceling or attack people on Twitter, however you fucking want to call it, they like to, like, vindicate themselves by being like, no one gets canceled. They love saying that.
What does that mean?
They're always like, cancel culture's not real. It's like...
Of course it's real.
I mean, I lost my job.
Yeah, what does that mean?
But they like to be like, nah, you're doing better now. He's better now. It's like, you're the one who got me. You can't fuck someone over like that and then be like, nah, you're fine. Well, it's like a real Big Brother thing. You ever like,
yeah,
you know, like, stop crying, you're fine. Yeah. And they like to say like SNL couldn't have used me or wouldn't have used me. They would have been like, he would have been a waste on there anyway. It's like, I think I could have been good.
You would have been great.
Yeah.
But you would have never had the kind of freedom that you are doing your sketch show now. That you have, rather.
For sure.
Your sketch show now is wild and raw. And that fucking OnlyFans dad that you sent me today.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine. You would not be able to do that anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's better than anything SNL's doing. That's a fact. It's better. It's better for me. What I like. People like different shit, right?
You ever get on a Sybian?
Not yet.
Those things hurt.
I'm sure.
It fucked my groin muscles.
Really?
Yeah. That was like a hard one to film.
How do you film it?
I just had to sit on that thing for
and hold your legs together?
Yeah, I was like straddling it.
Was your cock and balls really out?
No, but I wasn't like a flesh colored
Speedo?
like Speedo, which, you know, there's all these like girls around, dude. I'm not. It looks terrible, dude. It's just, and you know, you're nervous when you're filming stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I had like the smallest dick possible.
Of course.
Like that sticking out forward. Don't even look at it. You might be able to see it through there. Yeah. But that was, the whole thing was cool. Filming all that stuff.
It's a great premise, too. That OnlyFans thing is wild. I mean, I know a girl who makes $100,000 a month showing her feet.
Nice.
Like, what? Yeah. She works for a buddy of mine. She's, like, works on his podcast. She makes $100,000.
She just shows feet.
Just showing
$100,000 a month?
Yeah. Yeah, what? Right.
How horny are these guys?
They're so horny. But it's not just that they're horny. They're, like, it's very, like, they're fans of this one person because they've seen her before. And so they want to jerk off to her feet.
And it's just her feet?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't subscribed, but that's what I understand. It's just her feet.
Yeah.
I mean, probably, like, her and her underwear in her feet, you know, those kind of things.
If, like, the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee thing launched on OnlyFans, how that would have gone down.
Right. If they just started just banging on
on
OnlyFans, just releasing videos.
Yeah. A lot of girls got into OnlyFans during...
Well, it's a great way to make money, but the problem is you get addicted to that money. You know, if you're making $100,000 a month, and then you go, you know what, I really want a family someday, and I got to stop showing my cooter, you know?
Yeah.
And then you get off of it, and, you realize you got a $4,000 a month condo, and you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I got to show my pussy again.
Yeah, I got to show my pussy to pay for this fucking Lexus I bought. You know, it gets weird, because you can get imprisoned by bills or your lifestyle. And if you have that kind of lifestyle, it's super hard for someone to give up that kind of money because that's like way more than porn money. You know, porn star, like unless you're like top of the food chain porn gal, you're not making that kind of loot.
Yeah, porn stars are pretty exploited.
Well, they're doing the OnlyFans now too.
Good for them. That's actually nice. Yeah. That's good.
But they're not just exploited, like they're in a weird situation now where no one buys DVDs anymore, right? So that was where they made the most money. One of my neighbors back when I lived in California is a guy that I did jiu-jitsu with. He was like 2 houses down from me. He was a big porn producer. He was a crazy dude. Really crazy guy. He was always coked up and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing great. Balling, making videos, you know, and he would tell me like the real money's in producing, you know, and then the fucking internet comes along and just pulled the rug out from underneath that business. Then everybody was just getting porn for free.
Yeah.
And so like they went from making millions and millions of dollars every year to nothing. Boom. Yeah. He lost his house.
What'd they do?
His house got repossessed.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he lost his house. He moved out of the neighborhood. They eventually foreclosed on his house. And, it was a wave of things falling apart. And, I mean, I think the only people that can make any money are the girls. The guys make very little money because there's always...
the actors, the male actors?
The male actors.
The
male actors.
Thespians?
Yes, those guys, they can't make much money at all. It's hard, unless they're very...
Yeah, of course.
Very industrious, and they figure out some sort of a subscription-only plan where they only fuck all the hottest girls, right?
Yeah. I'd love to add to this.
It's a weird world because a lot of people beat off, but a lot of people like to lie about it.
Yeah.
It's a weird world.
I've been up before Ari got here. I was just up in Tim's mansion in the hills alone, just beating off up in the mountains.
Nice. It's good. Beating off's good. I'm glad we can do it.
Beating off up in the hills.
Changes people's feelings about things. You beat off, it relaxes you.
Oh, dude, I'll start DMing or like texting girls or something. Yeah. Just one beat off. Like, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing?
I used to have a whole bit about jerk off first, then think about it. Keys to life. Like if you're thinking about doing something, just jerk off and then look at it. Because a lot of times your perspective is marred by this desire to breed.
Yeah.
And you don't really like the person that you're going to call.
Yeah.
You're not really, like, socially compatible with them. But you want to fuck them.
Yeah.
And then you jerk off and you go, oh. Like, if a guy jerks off, the bit was basically that if a guy jerks off and still calls you, he fucking loves you.
Yeah.
Like, that's real. Loves you.
Yeah.
Not just the opportunity to...
Not coming.
Yeah. So embarrassing. When you're a young man and you don't understand it, like I remember being like 18 and 19, being so confused because I was really into a girl, and then I'd have an orgasm and I was really not into her.
Yeah.
Like really quickly. And some girls would think that like, oh, he's an asshole. He tricked me into thinking he liked me. Like, no, I tricked me too.
No, yeah, I loved you. I fucking loved you so much. Please leave. Please, I need to be alone.
I bet they feel the same way, too.
No, I think they're... Oh, yeah, maybe. After they...
Yeah. Probably like, what am I doing?
What the fuck?
This guy's sticking in me. Ugh.
With that shirt. That guy fucked me? No, they like it. Once you come, they're like... Stay.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Because they want you to raise the children with them.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird primal instincts, man.
Yeah, of course it is. It's everything. Yeah. Everything is that.
Yeah. So this, so back to the SNL thing.
Yeah, back to SNL. We talked come.
So the hits keep coming. They keep coming after you. It's like 4 days in.
Yeah.
Right? And how long in, when do you decide, like, when do you give up?
I gave up the first night.
Oh.
The very first night. Like the first article, it was funny. The first article came out that said I used the C word.
Right.
My agent calls me and is like, did you say that? This word? And I was like, I would never say that. I was like, that's not in, I don't say that shit. She was like, here's the video clip. And I was like, all right, looks like I said it. Oh, that was UTA. Shout out UTA. They dropped me.
Mm.
They kept Jussie Smollett. Dropped
Did
me.
they really? They kept Jussie
Smollett as long as they could.
Still?
I don't know if they still have him.
Wow.
Dropped me for maybe joking.
Jussie Smollett, or Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
As Dave Chappelle calls him.
Juicy.
Juicy.
Yeah.
That's right. He was really good in that Alien movie.
Was he?
Alien Covenant. Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not a great actor.
He's
But
not a great actor.
maybe-
How about that?
Is he not?
No. He was okay in that movie.
He must have been a terrible actor when those fucking
Kind of
cops showed
joking
up.
around. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. With his
He's like,
fucking,
"What
with
happened?"
a noose still around his neck holding a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
It's one of the dumbest plots of all time.
It is up there.
And that Chappelle bit is fucking
Dude.
magic. It's magic.
It's so funny.
It's magic. And the way he spells, like, pronounces his name wrong.
Yeah.
That French actor.
Juicy.
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Oh.
No, I just wanted to shout out UTA.
Yeah, listen, man, all those structures, all those things, like, they can do you good. They don't get me wrong. But they're basically like bridges that'll fall apart in the middle of your journey across the river.
Yeah.
They you can't count on them.
No, they turn on you.
Yes. The
Instantly.
moment they have to, they'll turn on you.
Yeah.
And they will. That's okay, though, as long as comedy doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, comedy is the only thing that we can all count on. Comedians and audience members that love comedy. And there's a lot of people outside of that world that will try to change the true meaning of what you're saying and try to pretend that you're being serious and try to pretend that you're a bad person or to try to pretend that it doesn't matter. And you should never be able to say those things again. You're a racist or a sexist or a homophobe or this or that. And, like, you guys can all eat shit. You can all eat shit. Because you know what you're doing, and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
The thing about this whole climate, this oversensitive climate, is that people are fed up with it.
Yeah.
And so there's a massive rebound when someone gets through on the other end.
Yeah. Yeah, people are definitely, everybody's tired of it.
Yeah.
It's every day.
Yeah.
It's every day.
But there's still people that is their currency. That's what they trade in. So they're still trying to cancel people all the time. And with a lot of it, and one of the things that Tim said, and then I became friends with Tim after he wrote something really insightful about comics that were coming out against Louis. And he said one thing that they have in common is they're all really mediocre. And they love the fact that this brilliant guy is being taken out, so it moves them up the ladder, and they're trying to gain social clout by attacking him. It's 100% true.
And the Louis thing was, everybody knew that. Everybody knew that story about Louis in comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Before that it dropped.
Yeah, I knew about
Before the
it.
news broke, I knew about it. I was an open micer in Philly.
Well, I knew that he used to ask Sarah Silverman, and he would jerk off, and she would say yes.
Yes.
And he would jerk off, and they would laugh about it.
We heard the stories, and then, so everybody knew it. Again, I knew it. I was an open micer in Philly.
Yes.
I'd heard about it. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? And then as soon as it becomes in the news, now every comedian wants to speak out against it. It's like, where were you?
Right.
When you heard about it. I heard about it.
Right. They were scared when Louis was on top that, you know, if they came after him, then everybody else would take out them to try to, you know, make Louis happy if Louis didn't get taken out. But once it was clear that Louis was hit and wounded, you know, you ever see what happens with buffaloes when they get attacked by a lion? It's really interesting. Like when there's a video of these water buffaloes get attacked by a lion, and one water buffalo gets attacked and finally manages to get free of these lions. They're fighting off these lions, finally manages to get free. And as he's moving around, another water buffalo comes along and slams into him and knocks him over. And then the lions get him. And I'm like, that is comedy. That's nature. That's humans. That's just biology. When someone senses weakness, the really shitty people amongst them, those people attack.
It's pretty funny that Buffalo did that.
Yeah. It's funny. The video's funny. Because you watch him like, look at that cunt.
He's going to get out of this. Oh, man, he got
And then his
betrayed.
friend comes along, rams into him, and knocks him over.
I watched those videos. Just stand up for yourselves, water buffaloes.
They try.
Everyone's
horns. All
I
they have
know,
is
but
horns.
there's so many of them.
Yeah. There's a place in Africa.
The
There's an
Kroger?
amazing documentary called Relentless Enemies. And in this documentary, there's a strange part of Africa where the river shifted. And when the river shifted, these lions and these water buffalo got stranded on an island. And it's a large island, but it's only filled with water buffalo and lions.
Yeah.
And so because the lions can only hunt buffalo, they all grew bigger. So they have enormous lions. Like the female lions are as big as a male lion everywhere else. And they look cartoonish. Like
Yeah.
they have giant muscles, like the Hulk. It's crazy because all the ones that survive are ones that figure out how to attack lions.
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of these fucking lions. Remember that documentary, Relentless Enemies?
Oh, there's the Kroger one.
Yeah.
Kruger?
Oh, is this the one where the buffalo escapes?
This is where the boys finally unite.
Yeah. This is where they unite and try to take out the lions.
This is great. They start fucking them up.
Yeah. Well, lions are so much smaller than a buffalo.
Yeah. And once they start attacking the lions, it's like, it's kind of sad now.
Not really. It's how it goes. This is how it goes. See if you can find that Relentless Enemies lions. So it's just a weird genetic aberration, like natural selection has taken place, and these lions have gotten way bigger. But the thing is, the female ones have these fucking enormous muscles, man. Like, there it is, the 2006
I love
full
the jacked
movie.
women.
Yeah. There's Relentless Enemies full video. Oh. Oh, just give me some images of the jacked female lions. Anyway, that's the idea. It's a great documentary. If you're into it, go check it out. That they look normal there. There's pictures of them where they look fucking super. Those are young ones though. That's why. Anyway, you get it. So, when do they give up, and when do they fire you?
I don't know. It was probably like 4 days in. I met with the people at like the head of NBC, those people. You're at like a giant marble table at the top of a skyscraper, and they're like, "What'd you say?" It's like, dude, come on, guys.
You had to meet with the people at NBC.
Yeah, met with NBC.
In person.
Met with people from SNL.
What did they say to you?
I hardly remember. It was such like it was for real. It was like I blacked it out. Like it was that fucking like
Traumatic.
this is maybe traumatic, definitely traumatic, but like
Surreal.
it was so surreal. Like it was totally I detached and I was like, no, I don't care. I kept being like, I don't care, and everyone would be like, are you all right? Like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you don't want to be like, no, I'm not okay. I said bad words and everyone's mad. No, you gotta just be like, no, I don't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, finally get the call that's like, we're gonna. They offered me I could resign, and I was like, no, you guys have to fire me. Like this has to be on you guys.
Yeah.
And they did. They're like, all right, yeah, you're fired.
What did they say in their statement?
And then they were like, we're going to release a statement. You release a tweet. It's all planned. In fact, since my thing, I've seen people issue the apology NBC gave me.
Verbatim.
To say, just about verbatim. It's all fake. The entire thing's fake. The people that are outraged are not serious. The people that are sorry are not serious. Basically everybody that has said sorry has been like, yeah, I'm very sorry. Fuck them motherfuckers. Like, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And the whole time, no one cares. No one cares.
It's a weird dance, isn't it?
It's a very, very weird dance.
So when you
Especially
went
over comedy, like that's
Yeah.
the thing we're worried about.
right. Well, it's podcast is what it is. That's the thing that can get you in the most trouble.
Yeah.
Is because it's so free flowing, and when you're doing it alongside another comedian, you're just trying to make each other laugh. And
Yeah.
one of the best ways to make a comic laugh is to say some shit you're not supposed to say.
Yeah.
But we know.
It's the funniest. It's the only way to make a comic laugh.
Yeah.
Just about.
It's one of the ways,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Say something fucked up. You're like, Yeah.
So they eventually released a statement. These things he said did not align.
Yeah,
with
we can't.
Yeah,
He's out of here.
yeah.
And then.
Did you ever have any contact with Lauren afterwards, or anyone? From
Yeah.
SNL?
I still talk to Lauren sometimes.
What was that?
Hey.
You ever
Our
send us some of your
best hero.
sketches?
I did. Yeah, he's seen all those.
Was
He likes them.
Does he say they're better than anything we do? Because they are.
No, he's been cool. He was nice, But it's yeah, he was nice. I didn't take any of it too
Of course,
personally.
he has to do it.
I
That's
knew
what
he
they
had
have
to do it. I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
up to him. I know it wasn't up to him, and everybody's like, yeah, it was. It's like, no, dude, this was
If he doesn't,
money.
they'll come for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, they'll come for him.
And and that's it. I don't know. I thought I'd be more capable of discussing it, but I don't know. It's uncomfortable. It's like I'm not too worried about it anymore. I don't like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. It's you know,
like I don't want to be a victim. I want to be a comedian.
Yeah, well,
so I don't want to come on and do stuff where I'm like, yeah, and then it was unfair how I was treated. It's like, no, I get it. I understand why I was treated that way. I said wild shit. I'm gonna keep saying wild shit.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's no chance I'm gonna work at NBC.
Right.
So those are the rules now. If I want to argue why we made these rules, that's different. But I understand the rules, and I wasn't abiding by those rules.
I have zero desire to do a television show now, but I've been offered multiple ones over the last couple of years, last few years. And the first thing that I think of is like, I don't want to defend any of the shit that I said in like 2009 or whatever. Yeah. I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, if you know what I'm doing, then good. And if you don't know what I'm doing and you see it and you're not offended, all I can say is just, that's not what I meant. I'm just fucking around and don't listen.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen. There's a lot of things to listen to. There's literally 1 million podcasts now.
Yeah.
There's 1 million. You don't have to listen to mine.
Go listen to like women talk about murders.
There's a lot of that.
And be like, oh, this is good.
There's a lot
of those
of
guys saying bad things.
Right.
That's bad. Not this entertainment value murder, rape, suicide I'm listening to.
Chicks love those true crime shows.
They love them.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter's really into them. I'm like, why do you watch that? Like, doesn't that disturb you?
They like it.
Yeah, I don't like them. I try to watch The Night Stalker, that Netflix series.
You didn't like that one?
No. Makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. Did you?
There were some funny parts in that.
Really? What was funny?
Fucking... see, this is Bud Light number 4. Here it comes, dude. No, there was one part where they, like, listed... In The Night Stalker, they listed all his victims. And 2 of them were sisters that he got with, like, a hammer. And they were like 88 years old. And then now obviously there's nothing funny about it. It's just funny that's the wildest shit I've ever heard. So I was like,
there's nothing funny about that, but yeah.
Just 2 old ladies
crazy.
Like, who's at the door?
Old lady with a hammer.
And he's like, it's me, the fucking devil.
See, I hear stuff like that, and I just want to find that guy. That's my feeling.
His ending was funny. He went through like a Mexican neighborhood, and they all started beating the shit out of him and turned him in.
Yeah, but they didn't kill him.
Is he dead now?
Yeah, he died in prison.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the worst part of the documentary.
Yeah.
At the end, it's like, yeah, he died, he had a long life and died of, like, cancer.
Yeah, I think he died of cancer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was broken, you know? There's a lot of broken people out there.
Definitely.
The crazy thing is things like the Zodiac Killer. Like, guys that get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, leave notes and get away. I think there was a new breakthrough very recently on the Zodiac Killer. They think they know who it is now. But they've done that like 10 times. They think they know who it is.
Yeah, wasn't it Ted Cruz's dad? Wasn't it Ted Cruz?
That was a Trump.
I think it was Ted Cruz.
Didn't Trump say his dad killed Kennedy or something? Like,
dude.
He's ruthless. And then Ted Cruz is out there fucking carrying water for him after that.
Oh. He's like... I was about to do a Trump reference.
Go ahead.
I'm flailing.
Go ahead. Hope he's scared. Yeah. So, when did it relax for you, where you felt everything's okay again?
I mean,
where you felt
it was like 5 or 6 months after I got like canceled. COVID started, so that's kind of when everything shut down. So it was like
that helped Ari as well.
We got bigger fish to fry now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was it. It just sucked. Like, it was kind of inconvenient timing for me because I would have liked to have kept going. You know what I mean? Like, not stop at all. But then it did look like I got canceled and stopped. Because COVID. You know, I couldn't.
Are you still doing a podcast?
Yeah, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast.
And how many people listen to it now?
I don't know. We're usually top 100. Oh, yeah, now? Yeah. Patreon went up. Yeah. Donate to the Patreon, dude. Support the cause.
Yeah, how do we get to that?
Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, Patreon. Okay. Google that.
How many downloads are you guys getting on a regular basis?
I'm not sure. I don't look that up.
Really?
No.
Good for you.
No. Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah, I didn't know until it was too late.
Oh, really?
I wasn't paying attention until it got really big. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, now you gotta worry about what you say. Or at least not worry about it, but you know what I mean. You gotta be like, I'm joking. This isn't real. Because people, it's
You
an issue.
also have to establish a relationship with your audience where they understand who you are. And they know that even if you say wild shit, you're saying wild shit because you're being silly.
Yeah, and then but I think it gets so big that you lose the relationship with people. And people join, but then I'm saying outsiders will jump in and be like, what did he say?
That's okay.
That's
okay. It's worth it. It's all worth it. To be able to have something, for me, to be able to have something where you can talk, I would do this podcast exactly this way if I was just starting out and no one knew who I was.
Yeah.
And there was just 100 people listening.
Yeah.
I would do it exactly the same way. And it can be done that way. But you got to take your lumps.
Yeah.
They'll come for you. And when they come for you, you just got to
You gotta be like, this is crazy, huh?
Yeah, I just keep going.
I was taking the fucking subway home while getting canceled. I would go to 30 Rock and meet with Lauren, and they're like, all right, we're gonna be all right, all that. And then I would get on the train home, and everybody, it was #1 on Twitter. So people were just looking at their phone, looking at me, just sitting there I literally watched people go like this. Just staring at me. And I'd be sitting there going.
Second eyes.
I'd go like this.
And what did they say?
It's me.
Did you have conversations with
I've had a
people
couple.
about it?
Yeah, I had a couple. And everyone was like, yo. Every normal person is like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, people understand people inherently, but when people try to pretend that they don't and try to reduce you to the worst thing you've ever said, and this is you, this is evidence of you. They're all failures. That's the crazy thing. The people that want to do that, most of them, they want to be a comic, or they were a failed performer. They were either a failed comic or a failed writer. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
Most critics are critics because they don't have anything to contribute.
Yeah.
They don't have, do you think Stephen King wants to be a critic, right? Do great writers want to be critics? No, they want to be writers. They want to put out art. They want to, explore the boundaries of their creativity and their discipline to bring that creativity into a tangible form where other people can absorb it and appreciate it and enjoy it. And if you can't do that, you criticize.
And that's actually a good point, because before, while I was an open micer in Philly, I was criticizing because I wasn't creating anything good. So I would sit there, I'd be like, this person sucks, this comic sucks, fuck them, fuck that. And then you start to get good at stand-up. You start to fucking meet these people that you just shit on.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Why the fuck was I? So it's almost the same thing where, while you're in that little incubation period of, being an open mic, I was miserable. I was like, fuck these people. That person sucks. They suck. Everybody sucks.
Dude,
I'm good. Thing.
I had the exact same experiences when I was coming up, because I was super hypercritical of other people.
Yeah.
But it was because I wasn't doing well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I remember I had a bit about Jenny McCarthy, and then I met her, and she was so nice.
Oh, what a bummer that is, isn't it?
I had to drop the bit.
Holy fuck.
It was just a bit. It wasn't the meanest bit in the world. It was a bit about her. I read that she was getting her breast implants removed. And I go, that's like Tiger Woods chopping his fucking arms off. I go, put them back in and make them bigger, and no talking. I go, you're not famous because you're gonna. What are you gonna go do Shakespeare in the park
your
now?
mind?
I go, you're hot.
You think we like your mind?
Yeah, but it was just mean. And then I met her, and she's so friendly.
It happened to me.
Fuck.
It happened to me like crazy. Every comedian, I'd be like, this person's special sucks. And then I'd meet them, and then I'd see them do stand-up and be like, fuck, they're so much better than me. They're so good. You know what I mean?
The thing about specials is everyone's special is 60% to 70% less funny than how they actually are live. There's no way around that, because the experience of being there live is magic. And I say this as an audience member. Like, I watched Chappelle this week. We did these 2 shows in Vegas, and Chappelle has this bit. I don't want to give it away because it's so good, but there's this bit about the Me Too movement. It had me crying. Tears are rolling down my eyes. I'm holding my sides. Like, if you see this live, it's so good. And I was like, there's a special thing in the air when you see a comic live. And you get a lot of that through a special. like I said, 60 to 70%. You don't get 100%.
No.
You don't get 100%.
No.
And you're also tense when you're doing a special. Like, especially, like, you did this special this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I was super bummed out when I heard that you only got to film one night.
Yeah.
Because I
on
like
Saturday.
2 nights. I do 2 nights and I do 4 shows. Because that way I'm loose. Because I know I have 4 shows
One
to
of
get
these
it
will
out.
work.
One of these are going to be
Yeah.
great. But you also feel better on the first show. Like my last special that I did, that I filmed in Boston, most of it was from the first show. The reason why that I did a couple of extra bits in other shows that I figured out a way to sandwich in, because I forgot to do this on that first show. That's the only reason why I put anything in from other shows. Because the first show I was super loose, because I knew I had 4 shows.
Yeah.
But some of my specials before that, I only had 2 shows. And you go out there for those 2-show specials, you're like, boy.
I got lucky. Saturday early, I did well. If I hadn't, Saturday late show sucked. And if those had reversed, like if my first show sucked,
The confidence.
I would have just been on stage just like, what the fuck, dude?
One of my biggest specials I did was in 2014 for Comedy Central, and a lady heckled me during my first set.
I would have lost my... I'd be like, you bitch, I'll fucking kill you.
It was such a dumb heckle, too. She's like, prove it. And I was like, oh my God, you're in the... She also didn't understand what I was doing. Like, I was going... The bit was about the guy that broke into the White House.
I remember that
No,
bit.
That wasn't a bit. That was the second special. It was another bit. Because that was my 2016 special. That was Triggered. But whatever the bit was, it was a setup, and it eventually made men look really stupid. But the beginning was like, hey, where you going with this?
Exactly.
And then, I see where you're going.
It happened to me this weekend. I was doing a Trump joke, and I started the Trump joke, and she was like, we hate Trump here. I was like, do you hear what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, do you think I'm going to do a special where I go on stage and I'm like, I loved our last president? Like, what type of psycho would that, you know?
Right, it's not funny.
I'm not going to go on stage and be like, I support the government.
Right, just let the bit play out,
Just
stupid.
listen to me.
Yeah, but people are just wanting their voice to be heard, and they're not taking into consideration that you're filming something, you know?
Yeah.
And if you are, they want to be the one who gets it on recording.
Yeah, as if we're going to keep it.
Yeah. Well, you live, you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but filming specials is a fucking harrowing experience because...
It was the only one I did. It got done and sat in Tim's house all my friends went back to Philly and New York. I stayed in Tim's house by myself for like 2 days. I was like, damn, I'm sad.
Why are you
It's
sad?
like a depressing feeling. I don't know. I never
Because it's
filmed a
over?
special. Yeah.
Oh, this is your first special?
That was the only thing I've
How
ever
long have you been
filmed.
doing stand-up now?
It was like 10 years, 8 years.
That's around the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's an uncomfortable feeling when you're done. It's like, could I have done better? Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Are you happy with it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I probably won't like it. I don't know.
If you had a chance to do it again, you know, like Whitney was about to do a special, and we were hanging out in the parking lot at the Comedy Store, and she was like, you know, I'm confident and everything in this, but you know, like, what do you think? And I said, you know what I think? I think you got some amazing premises. You're a fucking hilarious comedian, and every special that I've ever done, there's always like 6 months before the special comes out or 5 months. And during that time, I'm still doing some of that old material.
Yeah.
And it gets better. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, if I just waited 3 more
Yeah.
months. I go, I think you should just wait a little. Because I see some of these bits, you're thinking them out while you're doing them. They're not they're not just drilled into your DNA yet. And sometimes bits do get, they have a time, like a wine or a whiskey or something like that. There's a time where it's, take it out of the barrel, it's ready.
Yeah.
But if you take it out of the barrel early, they seem clunky. Like, I remember Louis was doing a special every year.
Yeah.
And I think even he realized, like, this is not the way to do it. They're not ready after a year. But 2 years seems to be the number. And maybe 3.
Yeah,
Maybe 3 is even better.
It's tough to tell. I don't know. I'll see how mine. I don't know if it was good. I think it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
It's always good to just get one out there anyway.
Yeah, and I'm doing it. It'll probably be on YouTube. I'll
That's
just
like-
make it myself.
Look at what
Fuck it.
Norman's doing. Norman
all those
fucking
guys.
killed
Yeah.
it. Schultz killed it on
Schultz.
YouTube.
Yeah, man.
YouTube made him. It
Yeah.
really did. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, his special murdered
Schultz
on
helped.
YouTube.
Schultz helped with Gillian Keeves.
Did he?
He was like a big influence, like talking to the people I was trying to make it with. Like, yes, do it. Because a lot of people are very like, you don't want to risk losing money. It's like, if we just put our money together and make something really good, it'll pay off.
Right.
Maybe not right now, but in 5 years,
Yes.
it'll work.
Right.
You know? And they needed to hear it from somebody who actually had that happen.
Well, he's one of the most industrious of all the young comics.
Yeah.
He's in
Absolutely.
my opinion, he's like the best guy that took advantage of the pandemic too, because he put out those
him and Tim.
those
Him and Tim
videos.
were
Yeah, Tim's amazing too.
both of them.
But what he did with those sideways videos, like turn your phone sideways, and then these wild rants where it's like punchline, 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 bang, 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 which is very different than his actual stand-up.
Yeah.
You know, where his stand-up is like he'll hold a laugh, he'll work the room, he'll fuck around a little, he's super loose and relaxed. But these things, he had figured out a very specific rhythm that's applicable for watching it on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, he's,
One of the best.
he is. And he's a great dude.
Great.
He's the
Great
man.
guys.
Nice guy. All these guys are great.
Yes.
That's what's funny about it.
Yeah.
Like, you're great. I was excited. I was like, you know, when you meet someone famous, every once in a while they suck.
Yeah.
You were great.
Thanks.
Anyway, that's cool.
I try to be a nice guy.
You were. It was crazy. You were one of the nicers.
Well, you worried I wasn't gonna be
guys.
nice?
Sometimes you can be crazy.
Oh yeah.
You get to your level, people lose their fucking minds.
Yeah, it's hard. It's the RPMs. It's like your hull can't take the RPM.
It's crazy. I mean, we went to that bar. It filled
Yeah.
up after like 45 minutes.
That
must
weird.
be crazy.
Yeah. What was weird is like people tell people that you're somewhere. We went to see what's the truth? Netherland?
Fuck,
no.
dude.
What are they called? Nether Hour.
Yeah.
Nether Hour. Really
Yeah.
talented guys.
Yeah.
And so I called Tony. I'm like, "Where you at?" And he's like, "We're seeing our friend's band. They're playing at this little bar in the east side. No one's there. Come on down." So we go, "Fuck it, let's go." So we all get in the SUV. We all head on down. We get dropped off. We hop out. We go in there. There's like 20 people in the whole place.
Max.
Within 40 minutes, there's 300 people there.
Yeah.
And everyone's staring at you, and they all got their phones out. I'm like, oh, Christ.
Yeah, man.
It was weird.
And we were a little fucked up, so like
We were lit.
Yeah, we were fucked up.
We were lit.
I like
The
kind of
next
looked
day-
around. I was like, holy shit, this place is full.
I had a pounding headache.
Yeah.
We just kept doing whiskey. There's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was-
whiskey flowing around, but I was having a good time, man.
It was
like,
fun.
It was great to meet you. I was like, we got this ball rolling. We're having fun. Let's go out. Let's go see a band. Let's go
It
get
was
some
fun,
food.
man.
Let's
It's fun
fuck around.
watching you. I got to watch. Yeah, it's fun to watch you. It's fun to watch famous people like live.
Why
You
is
know?
that? What's weird about it?
It's you can't like you go out and that happens. Like it's just weird to see like you have like 45 minutes to be like, all right, I'm normal for 45 minutes out at this bar, and then it's ruined. You know what I mean?
It got ruined.
That's what I mean. So there's
It
like
got
a
to the
small
point where
window.
people kept coming in. We're like, we gotta get out of
Can I
here.
get a picture with you? I was just like, God damn it, dude, get out of here.
That's when it gets weird, when you can't have conversations, when
Yeah.
everybody just wants to take a picture.
That's what I meant by like it's fun. It's fun to watch a famous person be able to live like a human for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like an empty bar, we're all just friends drinking.
You could do it. You just gotta move around a lot. You just gotta stay at a bar for like 20 minutes and just go.
One of the only times I met Pete Davidson, he brought that. It fucked me up. We were kind of smoking, and he was like, "Yeah, being famous is cool. I can't go outside anymore." I was just like, "Holy shit, dude, that's crazy!" Like you can't go outside.
You can. You can go outside. I go everywhere.
Yeah,
I just say hi. Most people are nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even just mean most. I mean like almost all.
Yeah.
Occasionally I'll get someone who gets weird with me, but it's really, really, really rare.
yeah.
Most people are super friendly.
What do you mean? What do they get weird with you on?
Usually schizophrenics, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I need to talk to you about some things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting these really important messages that I have to deliver
I get
to you.
some
Like,
schizophrenic DMs.
Yeah.
I get those.
There was a schizophrenic the other night at Vulcan who grabbed me by my shoulders, wanted to talk to me, like, really important. I was getting outside. I need to talk to you about some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have been like, "What?
No.
Tell me."
You can't help them. There's a lot of nutty people out there. I mean, they say that 1% of all people are schizophrenics, right? So if you have...
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So if you have 300 million people in this country, you have 3 million schizophrenics. That's a lot of people. They're out there.
They're having fun though.
There was a guy yesterday. breaking scooters. You know those
It's
scooters.
good.
You see that guy, Jamie? He was breaking. Oh, you weren't there.
That's
last
an
night.
honest day's work.
Yeah, he was slamming scooters and talking to himself. I told you, motherfuckers. Now fuck that shit. No, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
He was like walking around, like after he did like body slam these scooters.
At least the schizophrenics like do what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know, it is. It's just like
He's having fun.
I think he wasn't having fun. Give me one of those. Thank you.
I used to.
I'm a Bud Light drinker, kids.
Yeah. I used to work. I worked for the state for Pennsylvania for a little, and I would have to go around and go to like, I would investigate like state-run like homes, and a lot of them were like schizophrenic houses.
Oh no.
So you'd go in and just be, dude. Something happens to schizophrenic people; they get very fat.
Really?
They all wear like, dude. Every schizophrenic house I went to was like dudes in fucking full sweatsuits, chain smoking cigarettes, just like screaming at a lady. It was great. Just imagine a house of Tim Dillon's that are like, "Where'd you put my fucking?" Just going nuts.
Well,
And I'd stand there like,
Tim's mom's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
schizophrenic. Yeah. He
Yeah.
talks about it on stage. It's fucking hilarious.
it's funny.
Yeah, he's. I wonder if he worries it's going to come for him.
Might.
Well, as you get more and more famous, like he's handling fame very well because it hit him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that crazy internet fame where it hit him over the last, I would say, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like ramped up pretty significantly. You know, but
Yeah.
he's handling it really well, and he's getting funnier, which is
Yes.
amazing because he's always been funny. And there's no one better at those just random rants about everything that and anything that's going on in life. Did you see what happened with some car thing? Some car rental place didn't honor his reservation.
No.
So he said they're all pedophiles and the guy likes to fuck kids. And it's like,
That's crazy.
he put it on Twitter.
What are we talking about? He might get schizophrenic.
Oh, he's out there.
He's there, dude.
Yeah, but he's not schizophrenic. He's
No,
doing
of course,
comedy.
of course. But I'm saying
But
that's
he'll
literally
attack.
what you just said was the most schizophrenic thing I've ever heard.
Or funny.
I went to war with the fucking Enterprise and called them all pedophiles.
It
All right,
wasn't
dude, you have
Enterprise.
schizophrenia.
It was a small luxury rental car company. I wonder if he
course.
still got it up on his Twitter. They made him pull it down. It's still up there? Wow.
Every once in a while, Tim will do something that reminds you that he is gay.
Every
You know
once in a while? Like what?
Like,
All right, we're back, folks. Young Jamie went wacky, and he started spazzing out. He started doing karate underneath the table, and he kicked some wires.
Jamie fucking freaked out, fucked up. I was in such a good flow there.
You were so good.
That was crazy. That's what people say when you come do this podcast. They're like, first couple minutes you'll be nervous, and then you just develop a flow. And
Is
I
that
think
what
I
they
did
say?
that nicely.
Who said it? Norman?
Norman.
Start being gay.
Yeah,
Hey,
comedy.
hey,
I'm
comedy.
gay. No,
Hey.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, you're how many Bud Lights in now? 5?
This is 5.
That's a normal amount.
This is about where I take control.
Oh, tell me what. Tell me what to say.
Dude, I'm
What
not
are we
saying
talking
shit.
about?
The anxiety over the shit I've said on this podcast already.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't said anything bad. You're
I
good.
know.
Trust
I know.
me.
I
Just
know.
stay off Twitter. You got to stop reading comments.
For sure.
You think you're going to get to a point one day where that'll be untenable and you're going to have to just like not read it?
I'm getting better. It comes and goes. Like, I'll be like, I won't read Reddit or Twitter or all that shit. I read Reddit.
Reddit's wild.
Reddit's wild.
Those fucking people are wild.
Well, that's the thing, because Reddit is wild, and it's funny, though.
Yeah.
When it's not me, it's
Yes.
hilarious.
Well, Reddit is filled with some of the most intelligent commenters on the internet.
Yeah.
And psychopaths and idiots all mixed in together.
Yeah.
But it's very self-regulated. But the thing that bums me out about Reddit is generally uncensored, right?
Yeah.
Generally. But they took out the Donald when they had the Donald
The Donald was great.
subs. Yeah. They took it out. But I think people were really concerned with, there's a thing that was happening during the alt-right movement of like 2015-ish, somewhere
Yeah.
around there, where people were realizing like there's a lot of attention that can be gathered up by joining that movement and attacking the libs and, you know, and calling them pussies and saying we're going to punch them in the face and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it became like Pepe the Frog and
Pepe the Frog was funny.
yeah,
It was funny.
it was funny.
I know it was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It's still funny to me.
It's still pretty funny.
I mean, you know, Pepe the Frog all of a sudden had a Nazi outfit on,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey,
Yeah, come
But
on,
that doesn't mean Pepe's a Nazi. Like, the whole Feels Good Man was funny. And it was like when someone was saying something mean, you'd have the Pepe the Frog crying.
Feels Bad Man.
Yeah,
all
like, it's funny. But somehow or another, it got connected to white supremacy and all this.
That's because they're saying the worst things you can say they were anonymous.
Yeah.
They were, so, it's
Some
the worst
people
thing you
were.
could say.
Some people were.
Yeah.
And then some people
And some
were
dorks
using
actually,
it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I'm a big proponent of free speech, but I'm also, I understand that, things can get out of hand with these communities.
Yeah, they did. A couple of times.
Yeah.
But do you ever see the thing with Kekistan and Shia LaBeouf?
Yes.
Oh my God!
We
dude.
talked
that
about
was
it on the
like that was
podcast.
like the beginning of it, where it was like
we played the Radio Lab podcast. It was a Radio Lab podcast. It was brilliant, and Radio Lab took it down. They gave into the pressure, and the podcast was about how brilliant these people were.
they found it.
Yes, they
Yes.
found the flag.
Yes.
And they went, fuck Shia LaBeouf.
They were looking at the stars and
Yes.
flight pad. They were like, "This bird calls."
And they drove around honking the horn to try to
Yeah.
triangulate the location.
Yeah.
So you could hear the horn honking online.
And that was funny.
It was amazing.
There's no denying
It was
that was
amazing.
funny.
Editorial update. Radio Lab has decided to take down this episode. Some listeners called us out, saying that telling the Capture the Flag story in the way that we did, we essentially condone some pretty despicable ideology and behavior.
Do you think we just essentially done
Yes, we did. I condone that. To all listeners who felt that way and to everyone else, please know that we hear you and that we take these criticisms to heart. I
Oh,
feel
shit.
awful that the things we said could be interpreted that way. That's on us. It was certainly not our intention, and we apologize. Blah. Come on. Nonsense. You're reporting on a fascinating thing that happened on the internet
fascinating.
where
It was-
a pretty
it was
preposterous
crazy.
actor who's really ridiculous, he will not divide us.
Yeah.
He will not divide
Yeah, he was
us.
freaking out.
Yeah, and he puts up this flag, and they found the flag. They found the camera. Like, that's just what the internet does.
Yeah.
It's beautiful in that way.
Yeah.
And what they said, they didn't condone anything. They're reporting on people smart enough to figure out where the location of this thing is based on the goddamn stars in the sky.
Yeah. And tracking flights and seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who don't remember this, there was just one part. Shia moved his flag to just in the middle of Tennessee with like an upward camera angle at a flag, and they just looked at the sky in the background and figured it out.
What did the flag say on it?
I think he will not divide us.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he will not divide us. This is the flag.
And then it was funny because they were all like weaponizing autism. That's what they were saying they were doing. They were like, he has no idea the power of autism. It's just guys, autistic dudes in their basement. Like, it was fun. They were having fun.
But I can't believe the Radio Lab is owned by a corporation. That's what it is.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's absolutely. That's again back to the SNL thing. That's exactly what it was. The whole time I was like, I get it. I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah,
I know I am.
yeah.
I know the rules. You know?
When did it feel like the storms passed?
I would say,
Right before this podcast gets released.
oh god damn it, yeah, this one. Well, the problem is now I have to like pick a side. So like me coming on here and being like, I understand why I got fired. It's fine. People are gonna be like, fucking pussy.
No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
get.
that's just how I feel.
That's
Yeah.
their business model.
I understand their business.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's not gay, but you know,
Now you're getting double canceled.
that's
by the gays.
$5
The gays
bucks.
are gonna be like, we liked him up until
Yeah.
that moment. But that's the weirdest gay voice ever. I mean, what was that? It was like a grandma.
Yeah.
We liked him.
You're using
He's-
white voice.
Shane's a good old man. He's a good fellow.
Oh, what's that? A cock?
Put that away before
Hey.
someone gets hurt.
This is a neighborhood. Get those cocks out of here.
Comedy's incompatible with a corporate environment. It just is.
Yeah, of
Always
course.
has been.
Of course.
You know, that's why I was saying that, you know, one of the best things about all these things is you appreciate comedy. You appreciate stand-up. You appreciate what it takes to do stand-up. It's a fucking wild art form.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like it.
There's not that many of us.
No, there's not.
No, there's more neurosurgeons than there are stand-ups.
Is that true? That can't be true.
Guarantee it's true.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah.
I guarantee
People with
it's true.
stand-ups in their Twitter bio?
No. No, not those people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that claim to be stand-ups, but
Yeah.
someone pay to see you.
Yeah.
Someone willing to pay to see you. And it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
It's like you were saying that you're 10 years in, you're doing your first special. I'm like, that's about right. That's because it really is a 10-year journey, and only if you work hard. The people that sort of dabble in it, like that is one of the saddest things when you see like an open micer who you've seen for 12, 13 years, they're still an open micer.
Yeah.
And they're still struggling and bombing, and they kind of go on stage once a week or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's...
Tell you what, when you get canceled, those are the guys coming out of the woodworks. They're
Go
coming
after
out
you?
just being like, that motherfucker was mean to me at a bar once, and here's a 3-paragraph thing. It's like, I
Yeah.
forgot about you. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
deserve to be mean to.
Definitely. There were guys that were like, he told me to quit comedy. It's like, yeah, I was hammered. You just bombed again. I saw you bomb 1,000 times. Finally, I was like, I wasn't mean about it.
There's some people that, like, you want to tell them, like, you're probably good at something. This isn't the thing.
I had a
Find
club owner tell me that once.
Really?
First club weekend I ever had. So I was doing open mics in Harrisburg. I had been doing open mics for about 3 months. There was a local guy, he was doing a weekend in Pittsburgh. At a Pittsburgh Funny Bone, I think, in Mars, PA. So he was like, he asked the club, he was like, are there any good open micers that I can bring to open? They suggested me. He gave me the weekend. I drive out there. I invited my friends because I was like, yo, we got a hotel room, dude. We're doing it. I brought like 3 of my friends from home. We drive out there. It was right when Four Loko came out. Remember those drinks?
Yes.
We were playing fucking drinking games all day with Four Locos. Dude, I'd never done a weekend in my life. I'd never done a club in my life. I show up to this thing hammered. The owner's like, our feature bailed. How long can you do? And I was like, he was like, can you do 20? And I was like, yeah. I had 3. Obviously I had 0, but hostable 3. So I go on in this tiny hotel banquet room, just blacked out, doing 20 minutes of just, I did so badly that there was a guy in the front row. I'll never forget this. He was wearing one of those like throwback Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys, sitting like this the whole show. And then finally, like 10 minutes into my set, he looked at his friends. He was like, that one wasn't bad. As soon as for some reason, nothing clicked that I was bombing. I was so new. I was like, I don't know what this is. Finally, when somebody like halfway through my set was like, yeah, that one was all right. I was like, holy shit, how bad am I doing, dude? Get off stage. The fucking club owner's like, this is when I was in college. He was like, what are you studying in school? And I was like, history. And he was like, you want to be a teacher? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you should be a teacher. There's a lot of good things you could, he tried to pursue. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Well, it's hard to tell when someone's young and drunk.
I should have
and
never been
bombing.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, it was his fault.
Because
What
he
a
asked you to
dumb
do
club.
20.
Yeah. What a stupid. Well, I
Well-
mean, that's how you end up running a hotel comedy club in Mars, PA.
Well, you never know, too, though. You could have actually had 20, right? He didn't know.
Yeah, true.
Like, if he said, can you do 20? And you said, yeah, and you went up there and kind of were funny for 20.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. And you weren't blacked out doing Four Locos.
Well, I
all
wasn't
day.
black. Yeah, I did tell the story wrong. The first night, I wasn't that bad. The second night, there was a wedding at the hotel. And me and my friends were like, let's crash a wedding. It was like when Wedding Crashers came out. We're like, yo, let's crash a wedding.
So you just showed up at the wedding at the hotel?
We went to the Salvation Army around the corner, bought a bunch of suits, went to this wedding at the hotel.
Oh, my God.
We're in there, we're all hammered. We were drinking at the indoor pool. We were drinking Four Locos at the indoor pool all day in Pittsburgh, just getting fucking hammered. We go to this wedding. We were literally taking a picture with the bride. And she was like, wait a second, who are you guys? And then the groom tried to fight us. They get mad. If you crash a wedding, people don't like it. So they were all trying to fight us, and then I had to leave to go do this show, and I bombed. In the hotel lobby. My fucking face was everywhere in the hotel. The groomsmen showed up to the bar that I was performing at. And they're like, there's that motherfucker.
While you were on stage?
After the show. They were like, this guy's a piece of shit. And the club owner was like, yeah, this guy is a piece of shit, dude. This guy sucks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It was first weekend I ever did. Wasn't good.
Yeah, but they're never good. The first weekends are always a disaster.
That was about as bad as it could get. Not as bad as it could get, but yeah.
How long had you been doing comedy at that point?
Maybe 4 months. And this is once a week, maybe, at best. I had zero, dude. I had zero.
When did it start rolling for you?
I moved to Philly. So I lived in central Pennsylvania, and I was, like, kind of dabbling in it. But there's only so much you can do. You can go down to...
What gave you the confidence, or what made you think that you could go to Philly and make it?
I did Magoobies, you know Magoobies Joke House?
Yeah.
I won their new Comedian of the Year in 2014. And then I was like, all right, I can do this. And then I moved to Philly. Because Baltimore was kind of the closest city from Harrisburg. So I'd go down to Baltimore to do stand-up, go to Philly to do stand-up. And, then I moved to Philly. And I moved to Philly with the sole intent of doing stand-up, you know? I didn't move there. I moved there with no job, none of that.
Had you graduated from college?
I did.
So you had a degree?
I had a degree in history.
Right.
That was
good luck with that.
Useless, yeah. So unless you want to be a teacher.
So you just decided, I'm going to go for it. Did you give yourself a certain amount of time?
No. I got fired from that state job that I was doing, which was fine. I was literally going to, like, investigating, like, children's crimes at, like, state-run children's houses.
Ooh.
It was the most depressing job possible.
Crimes against children?
Crimes against... Anytime, like, an orderly would subdue a child, you'd have to go investigate it. But then there was obviously... abuse. Constant abuse. It was rough. But anyway, it was good for stand-up. Yeah?
Damn.
Yeah, moved to Philly. Did that. And then finally moved to New York.
Wait, did you have a day job? What were you doing?
I worked at a garage in Philly. I didn't work on the cars. I just worked at the front desk. I had no fucking idea about cars. I sold cars after college. I sold Hondas. Have no idea how cars work at all. Worked at a car garage. Have no idea. People would be like, "What's wrong with my car?" I'd be like, "Fucking, the thing, the rotor."
And so, what clubs were you getting up in Philly? Did you Helium?
Helium? Yeah.
It's a great room.
Helium's the best.
Helium, Mark Grossman's opening up a spot out here.
I heard.
Yeah.
What do you think? You gotta fuck him up for that.
No, I'm excited. Keep coming. Bring them all in.
Yeah.
When I lived in Boston, there was 5 clubs on one block. It's possible.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just have enough talent. And there's enough talent here already. And more are coming, you know? This is a real unusual place, and I think it could be better. I think this could be the hub of stand-up in the country. I think it's totally possible, and it could be separate, as I was saying before we started, separate from any other showbiz institutions that are more hesitant to take risks, right? Like television and film, and this is connected by. It is now a mainstream network of podcasts. Because if you thought about like what mainstream mass media is, podcasts were never thought of in that light because it's just, even this room, it's like just fucking 2 of us and Jamie. You know, It's like you would think that for something to reach millions and millions of people, it has to be, there's got to be more folks here.
Of course.
That's not true anymore. And because Segura's here now, and he's brought his podcast, and his wife is here, who's brilliant. Christina Pazitsky, she's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, Giannis Pappas is splitting his time here. Tim is splitting his time here.
I know Giannis is coming down.
He was here 2 weeks ago doing shows with us. Brian Simpson, he's been coming down here. Fahim's been coming down here. There's so many comics down here now.
Yeah.
And Tony's here. It's just like, there's a good talent pool here.
Certainly.
And there's a real enthusiastic group of up-and-comers. Real enthusiastic.
Yeah, they moved.
Yeah.
A lot of them. There's some up-and-comers that came from L.A. and New York and all that.
Yeah, I would have had the club up already. The goal was to be up by July 4th, but we ran into some wild shit that I'll have to talk about eventually.
Yeah.
But it was a disaster.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yeah.
Get it out.
It's all good.
I mean, younger comics should. It is a good opportunity. Like, if you want to move to New York or L.A., good luck. There's gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Right here, it's pretty good.
Here, there's escorts. They'll help you in.
Yeah.
Because that's what needs to happen. I mean, there's a lot of these comics like Genevieve, who went on the shows.
She's
with
been
us
killing.
Before.
Yeah.
David Lucas was on the shows with us. Like, we'll help you.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of comedy is like a lot of comics just need a little help. They just need a little encouragement, camaraderie. They need to know they're loved and accepted, and they got a place, they got a home. And that's what I'm trying to do out here.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think so. It's something I can do, and it's not something a lot of people can do. Buy a club. And,
Yeah, you're one of the few people that can.
And run a club with the expressed the expressed intention of just keeping it open. Not using it as a money venture. I'm just trying to keep it open.
That'll be sick. And you'll know, obviously, what a good club should look like, so the room will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
Yeah, I can't wait till people start filming specials at my club. That's going to be exciting.
That'll be sick.
I'm going to make that available, too.
Yeah.
I just want it to be a super comfortable environment for everybody. And also a place where you can do wild shit. You know? That's what I want.
That's why we all got into this.
Listen, man,
To
I
have
would
fun.
be no one without Mitzi Shore. And Mitzi Shore was a wild lady. She was a wild lady. And if you want to talk about all of the people in stand-up comedy that are important, she is the most important person ever in stand-up comedy that's not a comedian. She's number one. Because all the other ones, whether it's Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy or Dave Chappelle or George Carlin or Lenny Bruce or Kinnison, they're all comics.
Yeah.
Bill Hicks, comic. She's non-comic. She's a non-comedian who is one of the most important people in the history of the art form. Because when she ran the Comedy Store, her whole thing was, the inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah.
She thought it was funny that the comics were running things. She thought it was funny that the comics would do wild shit. She thought it was funny that they would say crazy shit. And when people would call in or they would send in complaint letters, you know, like especially if they got kicked out from heckling.
Yeah.
That was like a lot. They would say, your comedians were rude to me. And she would read them and laugh.
Yeah. That's
That was funny.
They don't do that anymore.
She didn't give a fuck. It was just her. She was so eccentric.
Would you get, like, Christians coming at you? That's what everybody always, like, tries to make the comparison. Like, the cancel culture now is, like, the left. A couple, 2 decades ago, it was the right. Like, the Christians being like, you can't talk about sex. You can't do that.
I never really had that. I mean, I had a little bit. Where
It
people
always,
would
it
send
always
letters and
it
stuff.
feels easier to dismiss the right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're less aggressive in their desire to stop you from doing your job. They might not want people to go to see you, or they might not want, their friends to see you. But I don't think they're trying to get you fired the way the left is now.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is going on with the left is, a lot of it is, they're being bullies. And a lot of the people that are progressive, that are really like open-minded, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people on the left that were bullied by assholes when they were young.
Of course.
So now they have like
I was a
this,
bully.
they have resentment. Were you a serious bully?
Not like a mean one, no.
They have a serious resentment, and they want to go after the people that
They
they
have nerd
think
rage.
of.
Nerd rage, which
that's
is the
what it
most
is.
dangerous rage.
That is real.
Nerd rage is the meanest, saddest rage.
Yeah, that's
And they
cancel
have
culture.
it.
That is it.
What did you say?
Yep. And it's also people that they don't have a lot of love in their life. If they do have love, it's like very conditional, and it's very, it's very precarious.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously, I'm making mass generalizations about huge swaths of people, but it's a personality trait that they have. There's a thing that leads people to want to be completely uncompassionate and attack people relentlessly and try to get them fired. Most of those people have experienced deep pain in their life. It's that old expression, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, that's the reason why the cancel culture coming from the left is so vicious. And the most vicious shit is coming from, like, transgender people or gay people.
Yeah, they're
or
all
people that have
fired
been
up.
bullied.
What are they fired up about?
They've been bullied. They're angry. They've been picked on.
Yeah.
So that when something happens, they come for you.
I don't know. The one thing I will say, like, we touched on it a little bit about, like, when I was an open micer in Philly, like, I was talking shit, dude. I was, like, mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of these people that are, like, these former comedians or comedians that are like, no, fuck them, fuck this. I think they have that, and I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in that where it's like, I'm not doing shit, so I'm just sitting around like, oh, you think they're good? They suck, actually.
Yeah.
It's just bitter.
even established comedians.
A lot
One
of
of the things
them,
you'll
dude.
see in established comedians is if you go to see them live, like
Yeah.
I've seen some of these established comedians on the road, and you got to have Phil Friday night.
Yeah.
Because even though they're established, they're
Yeah.
not selling tickets. There's people that you know, even from television shows,
Yeah.
that have been on sitcoms and stuff. They're not selling tickets on the road.
Yeah, imagine being like, oh, I want to see that guy who scolds people on fucking Twitter.
Right.
Let's go see what he has to say.
Ugh.
Can you imagine just listening to like a frumpy white dude giving you
Ugh.
fucking a lecture about how to be a good person?
It's exhausted. I've had some of those fuckheads on my show before.
Yeah.
You get into these conversations when you realize, like, they're not thinking deeply or honestly about things at all.
No.
They're just subscribing to this pattern of thinking and behavior
Yeah.
that they think is going to get them in, you know,
And it's hard. It is hard to be honest.
It is hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like, I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with it during this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I
Because
get it.
I've felt the fucking... I have personally experienced what it's like when you try to be honest. And you get fucking just back. People are like, what'd you fucking say?
Yep. They come for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does fuck you. That's the one thing I would like about cancel culture that does fuck you up. Like, all those comments, they do fuck you up.
Yeah. People want to be loved and accepted.
Yeah.
And even the people are like, I don't give a fuck, dude, I'm a rebel.
They're
That's
wrong.
Nonsense.
They're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
I have experienced it. I've seen people who have experienced. I'm friends with them. It does hurt. It
Yeah,
does hurt.
it
It
does.
is bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing to do to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Especially when you know.
everybody's fucking so mean to me.
Ah.
I'm one Bud Light away from being like, Joe, thank you so much
Let's,
for having
let's
me.
bust out the whiskey. Let's see if we can get you
Yeah,
to cry.
I'll take a shot.
Okay. Oh, we got some right here.
You're an animal.
Come on, bro.
Joey
Woo.
fucking
Give me that.
Rogies.
Give me that there.
Alright, take it easy, dude.
Come on, bro.
I am gonna cry.
Not here for a long time.
I'm
We're
gonna
here for a
cry,
good
dude.
time.
Yo, YOLO? I'm gonna
So-
cry on the podcast.
Woo! That's what's up.
You know, fuck SNL, dude. Those motherfuckers.
Fucking Laura Michaels isn't even American.
Dude, those guys will fucking talk shit on me.
Yeah, it'll all be water under the bridge. If it's actually already, right?
It really is. I mean, no matter what I do, there's always a couple of people that are gonna be like, see, I knew he was a Nazi. Or like, whatever.
Yeah, those people all eat shit, and they're all crying themselves to sleep every night.
Yeah, I mean,
They're not happy. When people are just attacking people randomly and trying to exaggerate who that person is so that they can make them more cancelable, those are not happy people. And
Yeah.
I think part of it is, I don't think you were here when I was telling you this story to some friends the other night, that there's this guy that I'm friends with online, and he runs I don't even know what he looks like. He runs a philosophy page. And he's a really fucking smart dude. And he'll send me some things sometimes about a podcast, and they're like super insightful. Like he's one of the rare people that I contact online that I actually listen to what he says.
Yeah.
And he said, "You're going to have a problem with what you're doing with other people because you have a walled garden." And he goes, "And you're very close to your friends, and you're very supportive of
talked
all your
about this.
friends." Yeah, and people on the outside. They don't like the fact that they can't get in, and it makes them angry. So they want to attack that walled garden.
Of course.
They want to attack these close friendships because comics in general, you know, we're all insecure to a certain extent, but also like desiring of love and attention. That's why we go on stage in the first place. And when you see a whole group of people that seem to be having this amazing party that you can't get into, and they're all supporting each other and it's rare for comedy. It's a rare thing for comedy to have like this, like real love and acceptance amongst people that also do what we do.
Yeah.
But the people on the outside, man, like even people that are successful, they're resentful. It bothers them. Like to be an island, to be one person alone, even if you're doing well, out there floating around. Like the only people that like you are your fans.
Yeah, that's tough.
Other comics don't like you. You don't have real comic friends. Like comics without comic friends, bro, that's a shit life.
Dude, if you didn't have your comic friends, like if you just tried to go out and what happened the other night happened, and you were just by yourself, that shit would stink.
It'd be weird.
If, like, every time you went out, there was just a crowd.
It would be really
and
weird.
you're not there with your friends fucking around being like, this is weird, right?
Yeah.
You're just by yourself. Like, this is fucking weird.
Or if I let it change me,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I thought that I deserved all that it was normal. You know, like, yeah, this is what people feel about me, man.
Yeah.
I'm affecting people, changing culture.
Yeah.
That's a
a
slippery
bad place to
fucking
be.
place too. That's a gross drug to be on, you know? And people get on that drug too. You know?
Yeah.
Comics without comic friends. That's a terrible life. Like, because you got to think, they're the only people that are going to understand you. And if you have a job that you do, and you don't have the love of your peers, you don't have the love of other people that do the job you do, they don't feel like you have their back, or you're not.
Yeah.
They feel like you're a traitor, or you're not helping, or you're not supportive, or ugh.
Yeah, but that walled garden thing, that's very, very true.
Very true.
Especially with you and your guys. That happened.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen it. Yeah, I was probably doing a podcast in Philly. Like, fucking all those guys fucking suck, dude. Like, dude, 100%. 100% that happened.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's real, and that makes sense.
It does make
It
sense.
makes sense. And that's why, like, if a comedian talks shit on me, which a lot of them did, a lot of them very publicly shit on me, I didn't really respond and go after them because it's like, I've been there.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to take advantage of this moment because nobody good shit on me.
Right.
Not once.
Not once.
Of
Of course.
I met you, Louis, Chappelle, Burr, everybody. You guys were all fucking cool. Burr was my favorite one. Everybody else, like, had, like, advice and talked. Burr followed me at the stand. And he watched some of my set, and he was just, you're funny, you're going to be fine. Just walked right past me.
That's
and I was like,
perfect.
dude.
That's his outlook
Yeah.
on everything. Burr is an interesting cat because he's not on really social media at all.
No, good for him.
Yeah, he doesn't really pay attention. He's smart about it. You know, he'll post things every now and then, but he's not reading
Yeah,
things.
he's posting, like, he's like, the bro ends. Like, that's it. That's it.
That's who he is. He's remarkable in his ability to, like, maintain who he is in spite of this massive amount of fame that he's achieved.
Yeah.
It's really
that was like
incredible.
the first podcast I listened to was Bill Burr's. And it's just, it hasn't changed.
Well, his podcast is like Tim's in a way that he's got that muscle where he can just rant
Fucking crazy.
with no one on for
You ever
hours.
try to do that?
I've done a few podcasts solo. They're not it's not my thing.
It's hard.
I could do it with just me and Jamie. If it was just me and Jamie, see the way Tim Dillon does
It was just you and Jamie. You're like, Jamie, put this on.
Yeah.
Yo, look at that.
Exactly.
Jamie, that'd be
I
funny
talk
podcast.
shit. We'd be fucking with each other. But, like, that's one of the things that Tim has a massive advantage. He has his producer, Ben. So Ben is sitting there laughing at everything he says.
Yeah.
So he's got, like, this one in the house crowd.
Which is important. Because if you're doing it by yourself, you're like, is what I'm saying funny?
Right. But that's the thing about Bill. He's not worried about whether or not
No.
he's saying something funny or not. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but he makes himself laugh.
Yes.
Which is very funny.
Yes,
He'll be like,
yes.
I'm talking to this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah. No, he's
That was
he's
maybe
a
the
gem.
worst Bill Burr impression.
It's not a good one, but
It's
he's
not great.
he's a gem. He's a
Fucking
real
kill myself,
gem.
dude. I fucked up. I'm 5-6 drinks. I fucking blew it, dude. This is my big
Have
opportunity.
some more whiskey. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll get confident. It's the last thing this podcast needs.
You're not confident yet? You should be
I'm
confident.
getting. I'm pretty good.
Pretty
right
good.
now.
Should be confident.
I really do want that part, that SNL part was great. There's one moment where I was like, and then I was like, I'll just go on Joe Rogan. And you were like, what?
I was waiting for more.
I know. But
I should have helped you there.
Dude, you should have seen my face, just like, like it was fully like.
That was my failure as much as yours. I thought about having you on, and I thought about like me even rescheduling people, but I was like this guy's just got to go through this.
No,
And I also thought that like perspective that you achieve through time is valuable for something like this. You don't want to catch it on the wave.
it would have been worse than this. It would have been me.
It's not
It would have
bad
been
at
me
all.
on there, just like, what happened? Everybody's mean. Everyone's so fucking mean. Fuck Chrissy Teigen, that bitch. Like,
Oh,
you know,
that
it
poor
would be
lady.
crazy.
Did she go after you?
Of course she did. Now she's getting
Look at
canceled.
her.
I'm sitting there like,
She's not just getting canceled. She might
She's
be,
going through a mental breakdown.
She might be irrefutably, what's the word? Irreparably? No, that's not a word. Irreparably. That's the word I was looking for. That's 3 Bud Lights and 2 shots of whiskey, folks.
Yes.
She,
St. Rogies has descended, dude.
She seems like a legitimately, mentally ill person.
Yeah, for sure. She was a model. Now she's fat.
She's fat?
No, she's not fat. I'm fat.
Little
She's
chubby?
chubby.
She's chubby?
She was like wasn't she a Victoria's
Well, if you're
Secret?
fat, you can call her chubby. Was she a
True.
I don't know anything about her. I know
think-
he's a musician. This is how out of the loop I am. I don't even know. I find out about good music from my kids,
Yeah.
but not really.
I think she was a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah?
Toss that up. Yes, dude.
That's her? Okay.
And then she started dating or married John Legend, who's a hot guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a hot guy. And he
In what
sings.
way?
He's just a good singer.
Oh,
Also, yeah, he's good.
I don't know any
I'm
of
a
his
little
songs.
banged up, dude. I shouldn't be speaking on these
Yeah,
people.
you should. That's the best time to talk.
Uh,
60% of my diet is old hip hop and classic rock. That's 60% of my diet when it comes to music.
literally the only music there is.
Yeah, I love old school, Gangstar, like Eric D, Eric
dude.
B and Rakim.
Gangstar,
Yeah, EPMD. I love listening to shit like that.
You know what's funny though is when you get canceled or whatever, you get out of nowhere there's celebrities because I was fans of these people and they just fucking crushed me.
Who crushed you?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote an article on CNN. He was like, "This motherfucker stinks."
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
All-time leading scorer.
Oh my god!
I saw that. I
He was
like,
in a movie with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Kareem shit on me.
Oh, Kareem.
Talib Kweli, he's a good rapper. They talked about it a
I
lot.
worked with him this weekend.
I like Talib Kweli.
He went after you?
He's got a lady on his podcast that hates me. But
He's
that
a
happens.
brilliant.
That happens.
He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Talib is brilliant. He
But
really
there-
is.
like,
And
I
he's
was-
a really good person.
Yeah.
You meet him, hang out with him. He's a great guy, and he did these shows with us this weekend. He rapped, it was part of the show. And it was a surprise musical guest. So Friday night, DJ Trauma does a set, and then people don't even know Talib's going on.
Yeah.
And then he goes on. The place went shit house.
Yeah,
and
he's
crushed.
It was just funny, sitting back and getting crushed by people that I
Who
was
else?
damn, I was a fan.
Who else crushed you?
If we'll think of someone, they did.
Really?
Name one person that tweets, they did.
I don't really pay attention
Comedically,
to Twitter.
yeah, there was a couple in
My
comedy.
diet of Twitter is about 10 to 15 minutes a day,
Yeah,
and I'm always like, what am I doing? And then I shut it off.
yeah. I'll read something and then I'll read somebody saying some wild shit, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get the fuck off here.
I want to take those
Gives
people
you
and
anxiety.
put them on a podcast alone.
Yeah.
And let's just go over your thought process. What are you doing? And what do you think when you release it? Do you ever feel bad? Once you say something hurtful?
Yeah, that was
attacking
another
people?
thing. I feel horrible after everything I say.
Yeah.
Everything I do and say, I'm like, who the
Me
fuck
too.
am I? Why would I say this?
Yeah.
And then that was one thing, and this was a real weird moment of clarity I had while I was getting canceled by these people that have always gone after me. They've always, in Philly, the alt scene, we always had a problem, which
Of
was
course.
weird. Always.
They're nerds.
They are. They're fucking nerds. I played football. They hated me.
Huh?
And then I was laying in bed at night, really thinking about what I had said, why people were upset about it. And I was just like, I don't think they're doing this. I genuinely was laying there. I was like, I don't think they're laying in their bed maybe I'm being mean to Shane.
Right.
Meanwhile, I was laying up at night maybe I fucked up. Maybe these people, you know what I mean? And that gave me some assurance of at least I'm second guessing myself. I don't think these people are second guessing themselves at all.
They will if they have to, and that's the thing. Do you know Jamie Kilstein?
Yeah.
Do you know the story with him? I've told this
Yeah,
story
I've talked to
100
Jamie
times.
a lot. Yeah.
Jamie was a super social justice warrior.
Yeah.
And he had feminist on his instead of his. Back then, you didn't have pronouns on your Twitter bio.
Yeah.
Nobody
Male
had
feminist.
pronouns. They didn't have pronouns.
True.
That's new. It's within the last 2 years.
How good is a he, him on a dude?
It's amazing.
It's what are you doing?
I'm gonna start putting that on my shit. He, him. If someone does that seriously, unironically, I'm like, okay, cut the fuck. My favorite is like she, they.
Yeah.
Oh, you mixing it up?
Yeah.
You're making me comply. I have to say they. If I don't say they, if I don't say her, I'm a piece of shit. But I can say she.
Hold on.
What?
I'm gonna say Marina Franklin. You know Marina Franklin?
No.
New York comedian. She's great. She has a joke about. I'm gonna ruin her joke. She has a joke about it. She's like the they them thing. She's a black lady, so she's like, this makes me feel like a fucking slave. She's like, they's gonna be mad. It's like, dude, it's so funny.
That's perfect.
It's like, what, them down by the river?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
It's just a way for people to be special that they don't have to put in any extra effort. But it's also a way, legitimately, for certain people that don't feel like they fit in to any gender to try to like have like a path carved out. If you say someone's he, him, there's certain people that just, they don't feel like a he or a him. They feel fucked up. They don't feel it, because there's a fucking crazy spectrum of human beings in males and in females. And some people, they don't want to play the game. They're either asexual or they don't care. They don't feel like they fit into gender norms. Listen, when I joke around about shit, I still get it.
Oh, for sure.
I still get it.
Sure.
I couldn't imagine what it's like to be a biological male who doesn't identify with being a male, who doesn't want to be thought of as a female, and you just want to be they, them. Can you just leave me the fuck alone? I don't want to be a part of your reindeer games.
Yeah, but then they're on fucking Twitter.
Well, okay.
So get off, you know?
But sometimes it's not even them. It's like other people that want to like reinforce them that are the most annoying.
Of course.
Because they're just doing it for brownie points.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I get
of course.
it.
Of course. You can't
Even though making fun of it, I get it. I get it. But I make fun of everything. I make fun of my own children. I get it.
Yes.
I get it. But if you tell me I can't make fun of things, or I'm a racist or a sexist or a homophobe or a transphobe, I say fuck you. Because I know what you're doing. Yeah, fuck you.
Of course.
That's not real. That's not real. You can't. I make fun of everything, including myself. I love me, and I make fun of me. So what? So what are you saying? I can't make fun of you if I love you? I can't make fun of you, or I'm some sort of a person who is I'm in some way demeaning or marginalizing you. That's not true. I'm making fun of life itself. Life itself is a big, messy soup of crazy shit, especially being a person. We got billionaires flying into space for no apparent reason.
I like
billionaire
it.
space
I
race.
like it.
One's gonna die.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
One's gonna blow the fuck up. 50,000 feet in the sky. On the way up to space.
Their wives just sitting there watching them take off like, please be a challenger.
Yeah, they're just thinking,
give me this money, dude.
Chugga, chugga, chugga,
Challenger
chugga.
off right now, dude.
Yeah. Right. It's wild. It's a weird way to die. It's
What,
an
in space?
experimental spacecraft.
That's a good way to go. That's a fucking good way to go, dude. I'll have a heart attack in a hotel at like the Albany Funny Bone. Some dude's gonna launch into space and be like, oh shit.
When a comic dies on the road, that's like, for us, it's a little bit like he went out on a shield.
It's a Viking funeral, dude.
Yeah.
You died in Rochester?
Yeah. I think George Carlin died in Vegas at a hotel room.
Nice.
Where he's performing. See if that's true. I believe that's true.
That's still a little too glamorous. I'd like to die.
The places
hope
he
I'm
was
in-
performing were not that glamorous.
I hope I'm in Flint.
He was like at the Stardust and shit.
Oh, really?
One of those places. Have you ever? There's something about like the New Orleans, the Orleans.
Yeah.
So he's in a hospital in LA.
All right. Well, they probably
The legend was so much better.
Where was he when he got before the hospital?
I said heart failure at a hospital, so.
Did he have a heart failure? Find out if the weekend before that he was working.
How about the guys that die on stage?
No.
You ever see those?
He was admitted earlier in the afternoon with chest pains.
Shut up. Damn it. Damn, the lore was always that he died on the road. Like people say, he died in Vegas. He was working that weekend. He never stopped working. He was George Carlin. He had money in the bank.
I hope
he
I'm
could have quit.
I hope I'm bombing. I hope a lady says
Why?
something. I'm like, what'd you say, you bitch?
You just grab his chest.
You got me. That was a good heckle. Just fucking die.
That's
Man, I should have showed up fucked up.
No, fine, dude.
1 week after his last performance in Vegas. At the
All right,
Olympics.
there you go.
I'll take it as a win.
That is a win.
That's when.
He had 1 week to
Yeah.
sit on that and be like, that show sucked.
He feels his heart twitching every now and then. I bet before your heart gives out, it probably gives you a few warning shots.
I bet you give you a warning. And like any man, you're going to be like, I'm not going to the fucking doctors.
Do you know when you're poor and you have a car and you're starting it and it goes...
Yes.
Yes. And you know one day that is just going to be click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely everybody's heart.
But, like, how else do you want to die? I mean, maybe it would be nice to die around your family, but wouldn't that be very traumatic for them? It's traumatic for them no matter what if you die.
If you
But,
die.
but you know,
In
you
front
want
of
to be in the
your family?
room.
I hope I
You know?
spontaneously combust. I hope it's at Thanksgiving dinner. I'm just like, hey, would you pass me that? And I just burst into flames.
I was as close to my grandfather as anybody in my family. And when he died, I remember there was part of me that we knew he wasn't doing well. So there was part of me that was relieved that he wasn't in pain anymore. But there was part of me that was, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there when that happens.
Yeah. I watched my grandpa die. I was in the room, and he started, like, he was laying there, and he just started, like, and they had to, like, shove a tube down his throat, and they pushed me out of the room.
Yeah.
And it was
Well, it's
just
like they know it's over, right? And so they have to do whatever they can to prolong life. Isn't that fascinating, like, how we feel about life? Like, even if a guy's 136 years old, if he's
Let's
in
give
the
him
hospital...
137.
But you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Even if he's, like, he's done it all. If he's in the hospital twitching, they'll get clear,
Bro, give him heroin.
Yeah.
Give him something wild.
Give him some heroin.
Give him...
Give him a drip. Let him do it himself.
I did.
Ding, 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 ding.
My friend Spud, shout out Billy.
Shout out to Spud.
He took Molly with me for the first time, and he was like, my mom died of cancer. I watched her get put on every drug imaginable. He's like, bro, if they would have just gave her fucking Molly, or like gave her like one of these drugs to just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give her something that makes her feel really good before she goes.
Oh, you'd like this. That night, the night we were talking about that, me and Spud, we took a couple hits of Molly, and then I ate. See, I'd always done mushrooms, but I always did like a little bit, like enough that like you'd get giggly. It felt like weed, almost.
Right.
It felt like weed without the anxiety. And then one night I must have eaten like 7 grams.
Ooh.
I mean, bro.
Ooh.
I never did that. So we're sitting it was my friend Matt's bachelor party. We're outside. We're at this fire. All of a sudden, I blacked out. Like, dude, I couldn't see. I went, like, blind. I was sitting there. I was like, yo, guys, I'm blind. And they're like, you're all right.
You're not supposed to do 7 grams with a bunch of people around.
You were on Molly too,
I did do a little Molly.
so you started on that.
Started on Molly.
That seems like that's a little more too, right? Should I hit me
Listen to Jamie.
It was a lot.
it's like
Look,
your start, like your precursor.
I haven't done drugs since.
Yeah,
It was that extreme.
100% right. Yeah, but it's funny the way you describe it. You're being like cautious. Like it seems like.
Look,
Someone should have told you to.
That is such a crazy idea. First of all, it's a crazy idea to do Molly and mushrooms together.
Yeah.
Look,
There
it
was-
was the Molly. The Molly took over. Somebody dropped
Oh, the
big
Molly made you do mushrooms.
Ziploc bag of fucking mushrooms.
Wow.
And I was just sitting there munching as many as I
Oh
could.
my god.
To the
that's
point, like, I was having
so
trouble swallowing them.
Dangerous. No.
Yeah, it was. There was nothing
no,
actually
You never really
dangerous,
die.
but I did die.
McKenna thought there was a time
I
where
did die.
McKenna did. I think he did some sort of an MAO inhibitor with mushrooms. And it was one of the few times, like, I've listened to a lot of Terrence McKenna lectures.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And not really, there weren't lectures. It was like he gave these talks that he would do in front of like a couple hundred people who travel around the country and do these. And he gave one of them about some combination of drugs. I'm not completely sure I remember, but I think it was an MAO inhibitor and a large dose of mushrooms together. And he said that he could feel like his thought process, his ability to think was getting erased. He could like lines of code getting erased. Yeah, that his ability to process thoughts and ability to communicate was like he could watch it get erased, and he was like genuinely concerned that he was never going to come back from it. I'm paraphrasing it. I haven't heard that in maybe 10 years.
The mushrooms thing,
Conversation, but
everybody talks. My friend Matt McCusker, he's all about the mushrooms.
shout out to Matt.
Matt, the shaman, Matt McCusker.
Shout out to the
He's
shaman.
always talking about how it's like a religious ego death. Like he talks about the ego death, and I'm more of a Bud Light guy. You know, I'm like, dude, fuck, what are you talking about? I took that amount of mushrooms fully. Dude, I had a vision of, I kept dying, going to heaven, seeing my dad, who's still alive. I would be in heaven with my dad, and then I'd get brought back to life with a paramedic shining lights into my eyes, like I was overdosing. It was crazy. I thought you'd be fired up.
Wow.
Wasn't it wild?
That's pretty wild.
And wasn't it wild for you?
It is. No, I'm trying to absorb
Wasn't
it.
my story wild for you?
It is. I'm trying to absorb it.
And it was so vivid. I stopped doing drugs. I was like, that was an overdose. That was an overdose that I would have had if I kept doing drugs. I don't know.
One of the things that I think about with psychedelics is how much of the way you think normally plays a part in what you see. And if that's the case,
Certainly.
but if that's the case, what is happening? Like, what is happening? Is it that your anxiety and your fear and all your ego is interfering with your imagination and creating these nightmare scenarios that aren't real? Or is it that the way you think about life and the way you behave and the way you treat people changes the world itself, and it changes your world, and it's represented in the psychedelic world, that when you embrace a certain mindset and go into these psychedelic experiences and release yourself and allow whatever it is, the DMT or the mushrooms or whatever it is,
Yeah.
to take a hold of you and take you on a journey, then those journeys are generally positive.
It was extremely negative.
Yeah, I wonder what
But
that is.
afterwards, it was great. Like,
Yeah.
I woke up the next day like, bro, I got to change a lot of things.
Right.
Uh,
So that's the thing about negative ones. They're not really negative. They're just
no, it's
they're
just hard while you're in
It's
it.
just a hard lesson.
Yeah.
It's a hard lesson. I think when people struggle with psychedelic experiences, or if people have legitimate mental illnesses that do psychedelics, that's never a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
people that are like hanging on by a thread already and they eat 7 bags of mushrooms. Like,
Bro, I was staring at people. Like, we were outside by a campfire, and I'd be like staring at someone, and they'd be like, what are you looking at? I'd be like, because their face would change. They'd have like 3 heads. I'd be like, dude, are you okay?
so that makes me think, like, what is that?
You know what's weird is we all kind of see the same things.
That's a problem.
It's like, you ever have sleep paralysis?
No, I haven't.
I had sleep paralysis one night, and it was at the foot of my bed. Have you've heard of sleep paralysis? right?
Yeah, for sure.
Foot of my bed, there's a long, spindly, shadowy figure just standing there, and it was fully real. It was real, and it walked along the side of my bed, like reaching its hand out at my face, and I woke up, tried to fight it. I thought it was so real that I thought it was like an intruder. You know what I mean? There was no part of me that was like, this is a demon.
I wonder what that is.
And then, months later, I found out about sleep paralysis. I had never heard of it. Googled it, and there was a image of exactly what I dreamed on the internet. Like, I saw it.
Whoa.
And I was like, it gave me fucking chills.
Like,
I was
it's
like, holy
common.
shit. And everybody sees the same thing. It's crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. What if
And
it's real?
that goes to the mushrooms thing with like the ego death or whatever the people, all those dumb fucking hippies want to call it. I did experience it, even though I'm
Yeah.
like, these fucking dumb hippies. I literally experienced an ego death.
One of the weirdest experiences I've ever had is with 5-MeO-DMT, which is a different kind of dimethyltryptamine. I think it has like a different molecule attached to it or something. And there's no visuals. With
Yeah.
regular DMT, it's like these wild fractal psychedelic.
It looks like a video game.
Yes, it's super luminous, and then you have entities that are communicating with you. These wild things.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What are the entities saying? Like,
I had a bunch of jokers the last time I did it. Give me the finger. They were all jesters, like with the bells.
Really?
And yeah, and they're like this.
Oh no!
And it made me realize instantly, because my first thought was like, "Hey, fuck you!
Hey, fuck you guys!"
My first instinct, like they were, it was all laid out in front of me. they were saying you take yourself too seriously.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you're right.
Damn, I wish everybody got to see you get that high. Get that high and be like, hey, fuck you.
But it was a real lesson because it's true, and it changed the way. I mean, this was just a few years ago. The last time I did it, I think it was 2.5-ish, 3-ish years ago, and I still think of that. It's like that made me a markedly more relaxed person from that moment on. Like the way because I was realizing like there's this tension when you're worried about what people think about you, and there's like a thing if you take yourself too seriously, you don't want people to talk about you a certain way, and whatever it was, I'm doing this experience, and I'm also, I'm in the EMT world, and there's these guys going like this, fuck you, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, and I go like this, like, oh, I get it. Like it was instantly apparent. Like I knew I had because you're managing a certain level of fame, and sometimes your ego gets in the way, or that your perceptions are off, and you're not willing to readjust, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But these gestures giving me the finger, I realized exactly what it was about. You take yourself too seriously. I go, oh, and then I had to examine it really briefly. I'm like, you're right, and they all started nodding like that.
Wow.
And then they went away. And then then it became this beautiful journey. But it was an opportunity for me to have a bad trip. Because not terrible. It wasn't like demonic shit I was seeing. I was just seeing, fuck you. It would have bothered me. They were all giving me the finger. I was like, oh my God, there's so many of you. It was like fractal. There was like, like who knows how many. Like, there's no way I could count them. But there was a massive number of jesters giving me the finger. And it let me know, like, that shouldn't bother you at all. Like, that shouldn't bother you. You should embrace that. You have two ways to look at that. You could look at that and you could be bothered by it, and you could look at that and think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
If it's true. The only reason why you'd be bothered by it is you're connected to your own self-image, and you're connected to this idea that you want to project out to all the other people. And the jesters were right.
The jesters were
right. It's a great lesson.
It is.
They're right. I was like,
you got a good point.
You're right. I was like, you're right. I don't know what to do, but you're right.
Isn't that this kind of goes back to the cancel thing, but the same thing with like the mushroom thing I had, where like there's that trauma, the jesters, whatever, however you want to describe it, but there's like you wish you could keep it because eventually you start to lose it again.
Yeah.
You forget that
gotta,
low point where you have that moment of like, this is what I am. I fuck everybody. You know what I mean? That fucking who gives a fuck attitude. You do lose it.
You can,
and then you get it back.
You gotta reinforce it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the good things about failure. Like failure forces you to reassess, and also you can get too like with comedy in particular because it's so weird. Like there's no director, there's no producer. It's just you. You're writing it and then you're producing it, and then you're performing it in front of everybody. And you could get lost in what you're doing, you know, and you need a little failure. You need a little, like, slippage. You need a fucked up word. You know, the word comes out wrong. And you stumble on your words. Those are good, man.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they are at the time, but they really are good because that's the only way you're going to, like, reignite your enthusiasm.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, which is, like, I just started doing the Cellar, and everybody there hadn't seen me do stand-up. So then I was able to do my best material, my old material, and I was killing it. People were like, damn, this guy's great. And now it's like, what, do I have anything else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's that moment of like, I got to start trying to do new at a club that I'm just at. Like, just filmed that special.
Places.
I got to do new.
Different places for different things, right? Like, if you're just doing arenas, you're not going to write new material. You're just not. It's not right. It's just like it's a detached sort of feeling.
Yeah.
But there's a thing that's detached about doing a top-level club like the Cellar.
Yeah.
The Cellar's, it's an A club.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the best clubs in the world, and it's in Manhattan. And everyone knows that Chris Rock goes up there occasionally. Yeah. Dave Chappelle shows up. And, you know, it's the best comics in the world. David Tell's there all the time. The best comics on earth. So there's a pressure to a place like that that's not necessarily conducive to creativity. Like, it's good to do open mic nights. It's good to do shows where no one knows you're going to be there. It's good to do shows with small amounts of people.
Yeah.
You got to think about it like training. Like if you were a fighter, like you don't just box. You have to do jiu-jitsu. You have to wrestle. You have to go to the strength and conditioning gym. And if you don't do those things, you won't get as good as if you did those things. Like you could be a successful fighter and just work on takedown defense and punching. And you maybe get pretty far with that. but you won't get as far as a guy who learns jiu-jitsu and a guy who has amazing cardio. You need more weapons in your
guy
toolbox.
who failed.
Yes.
Like we just saw.
Yes.
With Poirier.
Yes.
Wasn't that cool?
It was very cool. But that was an unfortunate ending.
Oh, that stunk.
Because apparently that was an existing injury. He had that ankle scanned. He had probably kicked someone really hard in training and created a stress fracture. And John Wayne Parr and then Eric Nixick from Extreme Couture, who's one of the top coaches in Vegas, they both put videos up on their Instagram. And when John Wayne Parr noticed that his leg was starting to buckle in a weird way after he threw one leg kick, kicked him in the thigh, because he apparently had a cracked shin going in there, and it was it was of concern enough that they went to the doctor and got it scanned.
Yeah.
So when you see him throw a kick, there's one where he hits the elbow, and then he goes back to sit down, and his leg just gives out on him totally. That leg was already broken.
Yeah.
He's probably kicking him with a broken leg, and that's what you have to realize. That's what kind of a savage Conor McGregor is. He was kicking him with a broken leg,
man,
because he's a left-hander, right? So his left side is the power side. So his left kick's his big kick, and that was the kick that he was throwing, even though he had a broken shin. Pretty wild.
That fucking. I mean, it's insane. It's truly insane.
He's wild.
That video we were watching of him driving around on a scooter, dude, he's so funny.
Respect.
He's so funny.
Nothing but respect for that guy. And people are like, I did not enjoy the way people who are not MMA experts were talking about the conclusion of that fight. And they were saying that Conor is old, Conor's done, he doesn't have the anger anymore, or the drive to become a champion anymore. Horse shit. You people don't know anything about MMA. Let me tell you what happened. You got a guy who went out there, guns blazing, to give it his all with a pre-existing injury, and he got beat by a better man. He got beat by a guy who might have beat him anyway, but took him down, has a superior ground game. Dustin beat him up, and here's the thing that I was saying going into that fight. Historically, and this is never an indication of like what can happen in the future, because people can improve, they get better, but historically, Conor's really dangerous in the beginning of a fight. He's not as dangerous as the fight goes on. Dustin Poirier is dangerous for all 5 rounds, and that's a big factor. He relishes these combat, trench warfare type fights where like you're 5 rounds in with Dan Hooker and he'll win it in the 5th round. Like that's who Dustin Poirier is. And he's had these 5-round wars with like Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Like he's had savage fights and gone into the trenches. So he's like real confident he can get through those trenches and be victorious. So the problem with the fight is not just that Conor broke his leg. The problem was that Dustin dominated the first round. When Dustin
that was.
If he dominates the first round, he's likely the favorite to win the second round, and then he's even more of a favorite to win the third round. And this is just based on historical moments in fights, what Conor has done and what Dustin has done.
Conor Diaz too, though.
Oh my God, that's
I remember
next.
thinking. But the second fight.
The third one's next, I guarantee you.
It's got to be.
That's it.
It's got to be.
That's the fight. You can't go right back
How
to Dustin.
great is Nate Diaz?
If Nate Diaz had fights with no time limit, he'd win them all.
Exactly.
He'd be undefeated.
That last one. What the fuck?
Crazy.
He was. I mean, that's my guy.
He hurts Leon Edwards in the
He
5th
points
round.
at him.
Yeah, he's like, I got you.
He didn't care about winning.
Oh my God, I had an argument with someone. They were like, yeah, he let Leon off the hook. He should have gone after him. I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He did exactly what you're supposed to do. Leon's not dead. Like, you don't just go after him. You go after him, you run into a straight left. Watch Pat Barry versus Czech Congo, okay? Watch Pete Sell versus Scott Smith.
Yeah.
When people go after people recklessly,
that just
they
happened
get
to Hardy.
cracked.
That just happened to Hardy this last weekend.
Well, yes, you're right.
He thought, because what's his name?
He thought Tai Tuivasa was in
took
trouble.
a misstep, and he tried to charge him, and he got fucking destroyed.
You gotta be super careful when you're going after people you think are hurt.
Yeah.
And people who don't know that, they should shut the fuck up.
How great is
The
that?
picture he points out.
Dude, how about his fucking, I don't know if it was this one or the last one. His post-fight interview where he was like, yo, house party at my house. Dude, I was watching that. I was like, this is the greatest dude of all time.
He's a gangster. Well, that was one thing that really popped up that I was trying to express after the first Conor fight. I was like, you guys have to understand. I know you want to promote this one superstar.
Yeah.
You got another superstar. He's a goddamn superstar. When I interviewed him after he chokes out Conor McGregor, he goes, "I'm not surprised, motherfuckers."
So look, I went into that. You asked me because I was wearing like a Notre Dame polo or whatever. You're like, you're an Irish fan or whatever, and you like Conor McGregor. I love Conor McGregor, but the Nate Diaz, the build up to the first fight, when Nate Diaz and Conor were doing interviews with each other, I was like, dude, Nate Diaz is the fucking man. Because Conor was getting into everybody's fucking heads.
Yeah.
Talking all that shit. And then he tried to do it to Nate. And
Didn't work.
There's one interview with like CNN Business or some bullshit where Conor's sitting there and he's like, you're skinny fat. You're like a gazelle. I'm a lion. I'll fucking tear you apart. And Nate just goes, no one even knows what a gazelle is, dude. This is and just immediately I was like, well, that guy's gonna win, dude. That guy. Oh, and in the same interview, Conor was like, probably knock him out in the first round. And he was like, he better. And I was just like, oh, it's the meanest shit talk I've ever heard in my life.
I was telling people going into that fight, because it was a last-minute replacement, someone got injured.
Oh, yeah. He fucking... Dude, this interview is incredible.
I think it was Rafael dos Anjos, who was a dangerous fight for Conor.
He's like, Nate, go get her a coffee.
And Conor, did you change your approach once it got named Nate for your fight?
The only approach I changed is I dug the grave a little bit wider, a little bit
fat.
longer for Nate's skinny, fat, long body. That's the only difference I made.
And Conor says this has been the easiest training week of his career. Do you think he's overlooking you?
Look at the lineups. He has fought little nobodies. Look at my last 20 fights. Better step it up for this one.
Conor, your response to that?
His last fight was a decision. I bounce heads off the canvas every time.
Against a normal-sized human being.
It's just,
Conor, you said
I mean, it's a fifth
at the
grader.
press conference last
It's incredible.
week that you actually like Nick and Nate. Has your opinion changed about that now after this week?
No, there's no emotions in it. I have no problem with him. I'm gonna slap the head off him. It's business as usual. I'll dirty him, and you know, I'll let his gazelle team.
You gotta recognize
Oh,
he knows what's real. He knows this is the real.
See, you know
that
it's the real. It's the real. You know it's the real. You know it's the real, and you'll know Saturday night.
Yeah, right.
You'll know Saturday night.
You'll know.
It's coming.
And Conor's gone on record by
Oh, it's
saying
coming
that
with the
he's
gazelle
going to
comment.
win
It's
by
coming.
knocking you out. What's your approach? How do you think this fight's going to go down?
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens to him Saturday. We'll see. Better hope. He better hope.
Yeah, he better hope he gets that knockout.
Better hope he gets that knockout. Otherwise, it's gonna be a up night for him.
Ooh.
And Conor, if you don't get the knockout, is it a up night for you?
If he's still conscious when he hits the mat, I will crush his hips and pass his guard and mount him and
You got
strangle
tapped
him.
out by two
I'll
nobodies.
strangle him
How are you the
like
best
a boa
if you ain't never heard
constrictor
of the
wrapped
guys who
around his
tapped
long
you out?
frame. A boa constrictor
No one
wrapping
knows
around
those
a
guys.
gazelle.
You were submitted by lames. Yeah, that was not even that long ago. That was like a week ago.
It's coming. It is coming. He goes, no one knows what a gazelle is, dude. This is
Let it
America.
play out. No, let it play out.
And finally was a pound for pound number one at the time.
Hold on, rewind that to the
Rewind
way
it,
the gazelle
rewind it.
part.
Right there.
It's all good.
Are you intimidated at all? There's going to be a massive contingent of Irish fans, just like there
Oh,
have
hold
been
on.
for
I don't know.
Conor's
Maybe
last
I'm
few
wrong.
fights. Are you intimidated at all by that?
No, never. Irish fans hit me up too. I got him out there.
He's
Dude,
a fucking
he's-
gangster.
Conor, you
at
mentioned you
best.
buried 3 bodies
That's
in
okay.
Vegas. Can you...
That's good.
That fucking that line when he was like, "Yeah, I'll probably knock him out in the first round." He's like, he better fucking get that.
Can I just
knockout.
say something right now? They should never do interviews this way. Is the dumbest, most
Yeah, they're trying
disconnected
to
way.
provoke these guys.
Well,
into
not
it.
only that, there's 2 guys who I don't know if they're MMA fans. I don't know how much they know about MMA, and they have written questions on pieces of paper, and they're throwing it out at 2 guys who are literally about to engage in the most important fight ever.
Yeah, they're
in their
laughing.
lives. Yeah.
They're having fun.
These guys should be in a room somewhere together, and there should be a skilled moderator, like a Max Kellerman type dude, who can talk to those guys.
Well, that's
what
because
they should have.
That's because that was 2015, 14,
somewhere.
So it was right.
there?
It was right before
15, 16?
like that fight really made MMA. It's starting to get to the point where it's treated like the NBA or the NFL.
Well, the big
where,
thing.
like, they start respecting it enough to not have guys on fucking Fox Sports, whatever.
What's up, Jim?
Oh,
Little
nice.
lamest lineup of training partners I ever even heard of.
I'm just looking at your little frame,
Yeah.
and it just reminds me of an injured gazelle.
Yeah.
Strapped up.
People don't know
Take your
what that
top
means.
off.
People don't know what that means. It's
Take your
in
top
America.
off. Take your top off.
People don't know what that means. Gazelle.
This
This is
those
America.
two guys in suits going. There's just those guys talking about MMA in that context. It seems so preposterous with their little scorecards, like reading off like the little like gotcha questions. That's it's old media, man.
The money interview, the like CNN Business or whatever that was. There's a lady asking him questions, and it's just. He's like, Nate, we're talking money. Get us some fucking coffee. And Nate's just like, takes the mic off. He's like, fuck this.
That's funny.
And
did she know about MMA?
No, definitely not. She's talking to Connor, and she's like, what's your plan? He's like, my plan is to make $100 million. And she's like, how are you doing right now? And he goes, I'm steaming right along.
Steaming right along.
At the time, he was at fucking. I remember him saying. He said he wants to make $100 million. She goes, how are you doing right now? He goes, I'm steaming right along. So I googled his net worth. At the time, it was like maybe $1 million. It was just very funny to be like,
that's his confidence.
And now he is. Now he is there. 5 years later.
Now he's worth like $500 million.
Now he's yeah.
I knew that guy was special in 2013. I was watching him fight in England. I reached out to him on Twitter. Like we had a little Twitter back and forth in 2013. I said, I hope to be calling your fights one day in the UFC. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's documented somewhere. Him and I going back and forth together. Because I saw him fight online. I was like, this kid is he's moving in a very special way.
Actually, you know what? There's a good example of, like, you know how I was talking about earlier about, like, when you see someone say something fucked up and your instant reaction is just like, fuck them.
Right.
His post-fight interview.
Yeah.
That whole thing. It's like, bro, he just shattered his leg.
Right. Lost
what
a big
would you be
rubber
saying?
match.
I would be scream crying.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you motherfucker, you fucking like,
the amount of pain he was in right then too.
Oh, and he was like animalistically angry. You could see him like,
yeah.
I mean,
when people are like, why'd you interview him? He actually brought me over. He goes, come on over here, let's have a podcast.
Oh, you fucking break my fucking leg.
He said, like, come on, Joe, let's have a fucking podcast. He asked me to sit down next to him. Like, I was like, how am I going to do this? I feel like I should just get something out of him.
No, it was good.
Because I knew, even if you recognize the fact that he's emotionally charged up like that, this is just him expressing himself while he was emotionally charged up.
And it was
Look at
truly...
That. It says, me and Rogan framed this in the studio. By the way, Connor, I'm framing this in the studio.
Bro.
Dakota Meyer, our friend from the podcast and Great American Hero, is actually, he's got a company that does that.
Look at that fucking face.
We're framing that. That's going to be in the studio.
What an animal.
There you go, Connor.
What a beast.
As soon as he said that, I'm like, of course I'm going to frame that.
But he,
take that scooter down here, Connor.
Oh,
come on, man. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. Come, let's do a podcast, Connor. He's a special person. You know, it's like it takes a special person to even want to fight the way he's fighting with $500 million in the bank. He's probably literally like the richest guy that ever really wanted to fight hard.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, even Floyd Mayweather, as rich as he is, and he's one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest boxer of all time, he's fighting people that have zero chance of beating him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's smart. Because, he's like, I'm just going to make a lot of money here. Conor is fighting Dustin Poirier. He's fighting Cowboy Cerrone. He's fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov while he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
How terrifying is that guy's responses to these things?
He's my favorite response ever.
It is the scariest There's nothing like when Conor was like, I only count knockouts in my record, and then you just see like a reply from Khabib that's like, I take people into deep waters and they discover themselves. It's like, dude, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What's scarier than a white Muslim just talking shit, dude?
I take people into deep waters and they discover themselves. That should be
terrifying.
the name of his book.
Dude,
That should be the title of his book.
social media. Khabib, he'll just today he posted a picture of like him with a bunch of figs. Or fucking, it's like, dude, this is the scariest guy on earth. Dude.
He's amazing. Look at him. What is that?
Dates.
What does it say?
Dates.
There's not even, all the way from Dubai to USA. Thank you so much, brother.
These are my
These are my favorite dates. These are my favorite dates. Bro, he smashed everybody. There's never been a guy like him. That guy made it to undefeated as a world champion, and the last guy he beat was what many people thought would be his most dangerous challenge, and he almost had him in the first round. He got him in the second round. He's the greatest of all time.
That wasn't even close. Poirier came close.
Poirier came close. Poirier almost got him in a guillotine.
closest.
He almost got him in a guillotine.
Yeah.
It was just like a few adjustments, and maybe if he was less tired. You never know. Like, a human's a human, but
that guy.
Really elite grapplers, it's hard to submit them, man. They can get out of stuff better.
Good God, that guy's up there fucking wrestling bears in the mountains.
When he was a little kid,
There was one. I keep bringing up these fucking UFC interviews, but there's one with him, and I think it was Max Holloway. And Khabib's just like, you're American. Like, don't talk to me about fighting.
Wow.
And it was just like,
wow.
Terrifying, bro.
That fight never took place. They pulled Max.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Max was cutting weight, and the New York Athletic Commission decided he was too skinny. He couldn't make it. Couldn't make the weight. And he's like, I could have made the weight. He goes, yeah, it would have been hard, but I could have made the weight.
It's good.
They just stepped in and decided. I don't know, man. You know,
of course, that's how fighting goes.
Max was the problem was he's losing a lot of weight over a short amount of time. But when it comes to skill level, Max is at a very, very, very high level. Very high level. And he's also a very good grappler. And he's really good moving. So if he can keep the fight going, the thing about a guy like Max Holloway is like he never gets tired. So if he can get you into the third, fourth, and fifth round, if you don't have the cardio to keep up with Max, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because he throws crazy volume. Like the last fight that he had with Calvin Kattar is like literally one of the greatest performances I've ever seen inside the octagon. Against Calvin, a guy who's like really fucking dangerous, man. Like real scary guy.
No one is ever close to as scary as Khabib, though.
It's
Dude,
pretty scary.
that while he was fighting Conor, and he was like, now we talk.
Yeah. Come on, we're
dude,
talking.
Holy shit.
Let's talk now. While he's punching him in the face. The best thing he said during the lead up to the Conor fight, he goes, I want to change his face.
Think about seeing that. Like, I get upset about comments that are like, he's not that funny. I'm like, what'd you say?
But I'm telling
Good
you, man,
Lord.
you don't make... Like, those guys all need each other. As crazy as that sounds. Like, the sport needs a Khabib. You need a guy who's so ultra super dominant that he makes everybody else rise up.
Yep.
They're all better because of Khabib.
Nate and Conor.
Yeah.
Nate's...
Even Khabib.
Yeah.
Conor needed Khabib. He needed someone who's a no-nonsense guy. Because he's all about all this style and all the, the fucking
talking
expensive watches and driving around on the rolls. Look at us, we're half a
Billy. 3 men died making this watch.
Yeah, exactly.
what a truly bad thing to say.
But meanwhile, Khabib drives a Toyota truck.
Yeah, bro.
And he lives in the same house he grew up in.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of a person. Like, he's not... He's just about hard work.
Man.
That's a wild picture, man. It's a wild picture.
Now we talk. That had to be a bummer getting hit by somebody being like, now you want to talk.
It was a wild fight to call, man. Because then the melee broke out after the fight because Khabib wasn't done. People were talking shit on the side of the ropes, or the side of the cage, rather. He jumped over the cage. Went after him. Like, that's a wild motherfucker,
That's the craziest thing ever.
Wild. Having a fight for 4 rounds with Conor McGregor and then jumping over the cage and fucking up people in the crowd. He's not playing. This isn't a game.
No, he's not.
He's ready to fight to the death.
Yeah, there's no business. Yeah. There was no business.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny. Don't talk about fights. You live in America.
Oh, it was like, he was like, what do you know about fighting? You're from America. He's like, I'm from fucking Dagestan.
It's true, though.
Yeah, of course it is.
Hard places create hard people. That's a hard motherfucker. Kind of incredible. People like that are so important.
Nate's the best.
He's one of the best, for sure.
Now, I don't know about the best, like, at it. But
No, as a character,
just
yeah,
the best guy
one of the
possible.
best ever. But all of them, you know what? This is why I've never gotten into pro wrestling. Like, these guys exist in reality.
Yeah,
like, they're not scripted. And I know people love pro wrestling, and I get it. And I got into these whole A&E documentaries on pro wrestling
Those are
recently.
good.
They were
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I get pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But for me, the real people are the fascinating ones. Like like Conor McGregor. Like, that's who he is, man.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier, that's who he is. That's what's fascinating to me. Francis Ngannou, talking about working in the sand mines when he was 10 years old, digging wet sand. What the fuck,
Can
man?
you fucking imagine?
Can you fucking imagine?
If you had to fight fucking Francis Ngannou.
Just the paralyzing fear you have
You're a
leaving your locker
firefighter.
room.
You're a firefighter in Cleveland.
But he's also the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Of course.
Francis fought and knocked out the greatest heavyweight of all time in Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Francis is he's like when extreme determination meets massive character developed by ruthless path in life meets great technique and discipline and hard work.
Yeah.
And superior genetics. Like, all those things collide to like this perfect specimen of a wrecking machine.
Stipe.
What happened?
I just Googled him to see what was up with it. He's going to be in Jackass 4.
Stipe,
Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou?
What?
Oh, no.
I want you to read this
Jackass
quote.
4 will feature Francis Ngannou in nutshot scene.
So, read his quote.
They're gonna let someone punch. Francis is gonna punch people in the nuts?
Yes.
No. Oh my God, my balls hurt.
Don't do
That's
it.
the crazy thing I've ever seen, man. I had to punch somebody in the nuts. Connor said, I did it the first time, and they said, listen, man, we know you. People know that you're the hardest puncher in the world. It wasn't hard enough. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I could hurt this guy. Did he at least have kids or something? Did he at least have kids or something? He's a nice guy. He doesn't want to destroy those nuts.
I love the fact that they are like, these dudes are such warriors that they're like, they speak in like, that's like, like tribal, like, did he extend his legacy yet?
Yes.
Because I'm about to end it.
Exactly.
Like, it's like-
Well, also, he's well aware of what he can do to pulverize those nuts.
dude, that, yeah.
If he uppercuts you in the nuts, that's a wrap,
If
kids.
if a kid hits you in the balls,
It's not
you
good.
get socked by a kid?
Well, I know a couple guys who lost a ball from sparring. Like, they didn't have a cup on or did something stupid. One of the guys was fighting in the UFC. He got kicked in the nuts in a sparring session. He didn't bother putting his cup on, thought he was sparring light, ruptured his testicle, lost it. Now he's got one nut.
He ruptured it?
Yep. Got kicked to the part where it got pulverized. And these are, 170-pound men. I don't know about the strength of a testicle. Does it get larger when you get bigger? I don't. But if a guy's a 170-pound man and he can crush your nuts, what does a 270-pound man
God.
do? And a 270-pound man is the most terrifying puncher, or one of,
Since,
in the history of the sport. The only other guy as terrifying as him is Derek Lewis, who they were supposed to fight, but now it looks like Derek Lewis is going to fight Cyril Gane
God,
for the interim title.
if they made Derek, it's almost like they shouldn't have heavyweights.
Why's that?
It's so bad.
If they hit you?
Dude, it's so bad. Like, Derek Lewis versus Ngannou?
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
That's bad. We shouldn't do it.
It's like Russell Peters' dad would say, somebody's going to get hurt real bad.
One of those dudes is leaving bad.
But the first fight was they were both very hesitant to pull the trigger. Because
somebody's going to die.
The repercussions are so extreme. Because both guys have, like, super legit one-punch knockout power.
They need to let that fucking Matinho guy fight Ngannou.
Who's that?
The dude who was just swallowing everything O'Malley had?
Oh, Chris Mutino? Yeah, that kid. That's a tough fucking
That
kid.
was
man.
crazy.
That's a tough
That was
kid.
fucking crazy.
Swallowed everything and was talking shit.
He's just getting popped.
And O'Malley is a sniper.
Yeah.
You know, O'Malley had, I believe, I don't want to misquote this, but I believe he broke 2 records in that fight, or came close to 1 record of the, over a 3-round fight, the highest percentage of accuracy.
Yeah.
I think he broke
Every
that.
jab.
Yeah, like almost, I think it was in the 80% range. Somewhere in 80% of all the shots he threw landed. And I think he landed the most amount of strikes, which is crazy too. That Moutinho kid Chris Moutinho's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah,
Just
well,
keep
he's
coming
got
towards.
You can't keep doing that.
No. No, you can't.
That's good. That was it. That was good. You were good for 1 on that one.
Look, he's a legend now.
True.
No matter what. If he retired for the rest of his life, that kid's a legend. I was really shocked they stopped that fight. I didn't know what to say.
It was 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was less. I think it was in the 20s.
Yeah.
But it's like, the thing is, like, Herb Dean is the best. Like, if he stops a fight, I gotta go, man, maybe he's seeing some shit I'm not seeing.
I think he knew O'Malley had to finish him for O'Malley's sake. Like, Sean O'Malley was gonna go for the kill.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, we don't even need to waste our fucking time on this. I understand he went the distance, but, like, we don't need this certainly vicious knockout that is coming.
I think you're probably absolutely right. Especially a guy like Herb, who's, like, super considerate and really, he's about protecting fighters that aren't defending themselves.
Not defending.
He was trying. He has hands up, but the thing is, like, O'Malley was just sliding those punches straight through those gloves, around those gloves.
Yeah.
He was landing head kicks, body kicks.
He was going like this.
Yeah.
He was dribbling.
He's pretending he was
fucking
dribbling.
around.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, this fight's for the Phoenix Suns. I was just like,
He's amazing.
These guys are.
I love him.
Still, again, Nate Diaz, dude. Best post-fight interview.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers, is it's the coolest thing you could ever hear.
Ever. Especially after you beat the guy who's favored. The guy.
Beat the guy.
Yeah.
You're bloodied.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, you just shocked the world. How do you... I'm not surprised, motherfucker. It's like, dude. How about fucking house party at my house, though?
I know. No, he's real. He's a guy who's never changed who he is. You know, him and his brother are both, like, wild fitness fanatics. Oh, did his brother just signed to fight? Who did he sign to fight?
Robbie Lawler, 265.
Oh, that's right.
Where at?
I don't know.
Nick Diaz
No, it's
versus Robbie
265.
Lawler.
It's
What day is that?
266.
September?
I'm sorry, 266.
Oh.
September 4th.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be there for that one, unfortunately.
T-Mobile Arena in Los
You ever I watched Nick Diaz brothers compilations on YouTube.
Yeah, they're amazing
funny as it
characters. And they're the real deal. Those guys do a lot of triathlons.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why they're so durable. They're always in insane shape. They don't get tired like everybody else gets tired. They have insane endurance. Like Nick, he swam back from alcohol. This is like from the last time I talked about this was like 4 or 5 years ago. But he swam from Alcatraz 5 times.
Yeah,
He might have done it more since then. Because I said 2 once. He goes, no, 5 times now. I was like, 5 times.
September 25th, actually. Is what it
September 25th. Yeah, I'm out of town that weekend, unfortunately. Look at that fight. That's a wild fight,
says. It's
man.
a 5-rounder, I believe.
And he hasn't fought. I mean, when was the last time Nick fought? I want to say it's Anderson Silva. That fight where he pretended to lie down.
Yeah, he
on the
kept
ground,
laying
put his
down.
hands
Yeah.
It's going to be wild. Let's wrap this up, Shane.
Yeah, man.
I think we did more than 3 hours, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Picked
Fun
it up
times,
there.
buddy.
I'm sorry, I got
Yeah.
my flow there.
We got a little flow.
Yeah, got a nice flow.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you on social media.
It's at Shane M. Gillis, Matt and Shane Secret Podcast, and Gillian Keeves on YouTube. Check it out.
Gillian Keeves on YouTube, legitimately the best sketch
Yeah.
show out there. It's fucking awesome.
Thanks
It's
a lot.
really good. You go for it. It's really
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, yeah.
I'm excited to have people here and watch it. All right, bye, you fucks.